see him coming up the block. Bill Clinton going dumb. All out the scraper, stunner boys here. Mission is the major, watch your girl before I take her, cause I'm on the strip shining. We don't move like no clock, but boy, it's big time. And lead a block to my Insta, cause boy, it's big grinding. 20-inch rims, freaks on film. She eat her, why she eat him? You already know who game tougher than leather. We throw parties that go dumber than ever. Young niggas wildin' out, shaking they dreads. Boy, is you biz or is you smack? Cause you all out the window with a face of a triple stack. I'm money hungry, plus I need all mine. Rigs on the beat, you gon' see our shine. Why you think they call us a dummy foe? Cause we stunt and we stunt hanging out the dope. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. This is Stunner Boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers, see them coming up the block. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. This is Stunner Boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers, see them coming up the block. Every time I hit the block, boom drop the stuck time. Candy on them dub things, bumping for one time. I'ma do the fool like I'm mental and ignorant. Jumping at a stop sign while I ain't giving it. Throwing up the block cause you know when I'm feeling it. We ghost ride the whip like we ain't even feeling shit. High feet, call a stunner boy. Tell a shoe every whip, now who's stunting boy? At every function, sideshow, neighborhood event. You catch me dipping in the scraper with the 16-inch flip. Reppin' PA, Menlo, Northern Cali finest. If I'm scraping past a dollar, mean the police right behind us. We don't care, we going on big perp and X pills. Stunner boys, stay stunting the block on big wheels. Get big skrills, cause they ain't fucking with us. We in the building and we feeling like nigga with us. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. This is Stunner Boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers, see them coming up the block. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. This is Stunner Boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers, see them coming up the block. I got a few of my young niggas all out the windows, stunting up the block. Niggas know what they info. We did we stacked, our rims are stacked. Plus we smoking on that perp weed, leaning back. They know we coming up the block, holding the meanest stats. When you stunt like them stunners, you get mean with rats. Candy paints on the model, we mean at that. Bumping nothing less than 15s and holding us at. And we'll teach you how to stunt. All through the bay, we ride candy and blunt. When we come, the show shut down. No field goals, all touchdowns. Police come, it goes down. High speed and run them through the whole town and get away. I'm not locked like Akon, supercharged kick, running on stop sign. Say holla who that is, hanging all out the window. This is Stunner Boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers, see them
into another installment of Easily Rigged. B-Eazy Dat Dude, Big Rig slaps two of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name.
Okay. Y'all know what this is. A late, extra late installment of Easily Rigged. And I know it's going to be a good stream because Big Rig was able to come up without even needing the link in the chat. So shout out to Big Rig Slaps. He is tech savvy. Hold on. Last stream you said you was using bigger words. Now you getting you getting this tech shit down too. Okay.
Man, I'm just trying to, evolve, bro.
I respect that. And I got to run this because we are here extra late, but we are pretty prominent in the chat. We already got M3, the mayor in the building. We got Joe to go. And Joe,
Yeah.
we gonna cook a little bit, but if you available, we'll definitely have you come up. And Princess K, I've been meaning to get with you, but you've been off the grid, Princess K. But if you want to come up, definitely we can come and chop game. And shout out to the Brody Daryl Long in the building, M3 the
Young bruh.
mayor in the building,
Young bruh.
Princess K coming in heavy.
Yeah.
So just to show the appreciation because y'all came through for us on the late, extra late vamping hours. You are now tuned into another installment of Easily Rigged on the Knowledge and Relationships platform. Your viewership and support is immensely appreciated, and for that, we thank you. So we want to show some thanks to y'all. Y'all can be anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with us. Shout out to y'all. And shout out to Joe to go. And shout out to bro, Amazing Lucas. I seen you on this panel a week or a couple weeks ago. I think Joe got a new haircut and it didn't look like a mullet. So shout out to Joe. I don't know if that
Yeah.
was maybe you took my advice. You went to Supercuts, but the cut Joe had, it looked like a brother did that. So shout out to Joe to
Okay.
go. And Princess K or Madam K is in the building. And she says, Big Rig is growing on us. We are watching evolution happen right in front of us. It's true because
Yeah.
Big Rig, bro, he using big words. I'm like, hold on, what? Like this cat using big words. He tech savvy with it now. I'm thinking like, is he in the code Big Rig codes instead of Big Rig
Bruh.
coding? And we got Six Boss in the building. Says hi, love. Shout out to Six Boss. So yeah, and hold on. So we gonna get right into it. Y'all know how we do. Let me make sure that I have the bam right there, and I'm gonna go ahead and create another banner. But hold on, let me get the music and set the mood right. And while I'm setting the mood right, I'm gonna hit y'all with
You are now
this.
tuned into another installment of Easily Rigged. This broadcast will be uncompromising, unfiltered, uncut, and unrehearsed. Your support for the program is immeasurable. Thanks to everyone that has contributed to our growth, you are appreciated. B-Eazy Dat Dude, Big Rig slaps two of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name. Enjoy the broadcast.
We definitely really do appreciate y'all. But yeah, Big Rig. So the topic of discussion, since we are super late, we gonna get right into it. And the topic of discussion is simply standards. How many of us have them? And we like to do open-ended questions and topics so that it can go down different avenues, sometimes a rabbit hole, but a very nuanced, balanced, and broad discussion so we don't skip over things and certain things are highlighted, other things are brought to light that you may or may not have thought of. So the topic is, and make sure you can donate to the show. First, let me say this. You don't, it would be great if you donate monetary value. So hit the PayPal, the Cash App, but you could also donate your energy, positive energy. But if you want some negative stuff too, you may get kicked out. But if it's substantive, maybe it will be entertained. Actually, I wouldn't say negative energy. I would say opposing talking points. Those are welcome, but you don't got to do that negatively. So you can donate your positive energy by liking, sharing the stream, subscribing to the channel, representing, you know, by making yourself be known in the chat. You can donate that, because some people saying, oh, I'm broke, I ain't got the money, but definitely you got the energy to donate. How many seconds does it take to like? How much energy does it take to share? So you can do that. And we are getting heavy in the chat, bro. I'm trying to get to the and shout out to Jason Black, because we can't even call this a show. This is a broadcast. It is a program. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get to the broadcast, but they coming heavy in the chat. Intrepidus. Shout out to Intrepidus. Always has something good to say, insightful. She says, yes, a lot of rabbit holes, yet I keep coming back because going down a rabbit hole is not always a bad thing, because sometimes people avoid rabbit holes and sometimes people go down the same meaningless rabbit hole that just ends right back to square one, kind of like the gender war rabbit hole, because most people are not trying to have solutions. They're just trying to go down to a rabbit hole, play the blame game, and win an argument. They don't want to have anything change, but there are some rabbit holes that are worth exploring. What you think about that, Big Rig?
No, that's you right on that. You right on that.
Cool. So I'm just trying to run through the chat real quick, because all the people that came here this late with us, we definitely rock with y'all. And as soon as we get into the topic and get cooking, we'll definitely drop the link for anyone that wants to come up. Let me know. Vaughn Bryant is up late, and shout out my big bro Vaughn
Vaughn
Bryant.
Bryant.
Princess K says, do we have standards? But the better question is, how many of us have them and actually make an effort to live off them? And that's why the question and topic is posed how it is. Standards, how many of us have them? Because having them is just one part of it. But once you have them, are you living according to your standard? Because me and Big Rig talk about it all the time. This is just an example. A woman will say that her standard is 6 feet, six pack, etc. But then you look at her baby daddy and he's 5'6", you know what I mean? A different a different height and a different archetype than she said what her standard was. So standards are not always fluid, but they are necessary, because if we have no standards, no governance, then it's just a free for all for everything. And that's pretty much what we're headed to. And we're going to get into it further. And he says the title, I think he said meant sound familiar, kind of like the sequel to Friends. How many of us have them? Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. And if y'all don't know about the song Friends, how many of us have them? Look that song up and then get back
Houdini.
to me. There you go. Okay, Big Rig, like you know who it is off the top. Big Rig don't gotta Google. So not only is he learning new words,
Hey,
he good with the hip hop trivia. He learning new tech. He is definitely evolving right in front of
I
his.
done hit the unlock button on myself, bruh.
Shout out to the Brody Arshawn. Go subscribe to the channel Critically Drinking. He will have you critically thinking. Hopefully, we can get a streaming together, do some sort of collaboration. But regardless, continue to do your thing. Much respect. Mr. Brian in the building. Peace,
Yeah.
joy, longevity, salutations. So we are going to get into it. And Joe says he can get on for a bit. All right, cool. So I'm gonna let you get a first crack at what angle what comes to mind when we say standards? How many of us have them? What comes to mind to you? Dating standards, mating standards, fashion standards, parental standards, societal standards. What comes to your mind when you hear a topic / question posed like that? And hold
Like
on,
on the
we got OG Patrice in the building, and
OG Patrice,
we
man,
know
what's
it's
going
late.
on?
And old man, if y'all want to come up, just let me know. OG Patrice, Vouaghn Bryant. If any of y'all want to come up, just let me know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and drop it, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna be brief, bro, because we got hitters in the chat right now. So yeah,
Yeah,
drop that link in case you
we
want to
got some
come up. It's
hitters in
late
the
night. Let's
chat.
get it.
It's late night, so we usually wait, but ain't no waiting. Come on, we got the vampires out tonight. Go ahead and
Yeah,
rock
they
out, Big
showing
Red.
up, man. That's crazy.
Big Red, could you speak on the topic?
Yeah, so with the standards, man, yeah, I mean, I would hope we all have standards, bro. A standard when you out there, you know what I'm saying, representing yourself, because man, you gotta represent yourself, right? Shout out to you, Joe. Shout out to Patrice. You know what I'm saying? Keeping yourself, presentable, you know what I'm saying? And and that's just, keeping yourself groomed, your clothes clean, you know what I'm saying? You ain't out there being funky, standards with who you choose as a mate, you know what I'm saying? Somebody respectful, you know what I'm saying? Not nobody that's, disrespecting you or, downing you, you know what I'm saying? Greets you, you know what I'm saying? With a smile, makes you feel good, you know what I'm saying? Like, that should be a standard, you know what I mean? Not nobody that's gonna give you grief. You want somebody that's gonna give you peace, you know what I'm saying? And then what was the other one, man? You standards with man, I'll just let y'all go, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was gonna be real brief. We got
I,
OG Patrice and Joe up here.
yeah, I said standards with fashion, and I'm
Oh,
glad.
standards with fashion. So yeah, standards with fashion, man. I mean, you ain't gotta keep up with the Joneses, you know what I'm saying? But
Well,
again,
hold on, real quick, Big Rig. Let me show
yep,
you what the Joneses is, and then you take it off from there. Then I'm gonna go to
for
OG
sure.
Patrice, and then I'm gonna go to Joe to go, because this is what they're saying the standard is now. These are becoming the standard. And this is what they're saying is a heterosexual man. So they're saying masculinity is fluid. So that this is the standard. So if your son wants to dress like this and still have a girlfriend, don't judge him and don't say anything that could be perceived as, anti-agenda. So I'm just saying, when it comes to standard, I think everyone should be able to express themselves the way they want to, but there is something as universal standards, societal standards. But the further we get away from defining it, then who is to say that this isn't the standard and that you should start looking for this type of attire for your son, right? Because people were trying to make this the standard. You've seen this before, Big Rig, and it's
I lived
people
it.
in there. Exactly, right? And at one point it was your standard, and then you say, maybe not so much. But then others are saying, hey, this is still the standard where I'm 40, 50, and I'm dressing like my son because this is my standard. I don't need to wear suits. But somebody else is saying masculinity is fluid and this is the standard. So go ahead, Big Rig, pick it up from there.
B-Eazy, what kind of shit, man? You know what, bro? Come on, man. You my brother for sure, man. But you done really look at you and you still doing it. You done really pulled one out the bag with this one, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, I get it, bro, but that's the standard, man. If that's the time you want, you know what I'm saying? That's how I could put it. If you want that type of time, and that's what floats your boat, and that type of apparel, man, go out with a bang. You feel me? But when I'm speaking of a standard and keeping up with the Joneses, I'm not touching nowhere near that, man. I'm talking about, trying to wear all the Yeezy shoes and Jordan shoes, which is cool, but it's a little pricey. Sometimes you can't, get them things like that. You know what I'm saying? And when everybody, when Jordans is dropping damn near every other month, you damn near feel obligated. I know I went through that for a little bit, it's ridiculous. But yeah, on that other note, man, that's a whole different conversation, B. That's a conversation we can actually really have, bro, but putting it in a standard like that, no, I can't. Yeah, you pulled a magic trick with that one, bro.
Well, you brought up Houdini, so I had to pull something out. So
yeah, man.
Okay, Big Rick, I'm gonna let you ponder on that because I know we got some of the OGs, and I want to be respectful of their time since we are at Vamp hours. So I'm gonna go to OG Patrice. I'm gonna go to Joe to go real quick, Mr. Bryant, and that should be enough time for Big Rick to think. And
Big Rick done already thought. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
So I hit Big Rig with a curveball, so he wasn't expecting that. He thought I was going straight down the line. So I'm going to go a different angle with OG Patrice, but it all could be tied back because this topic is very open, right? It's not limited to one particular aspect of standards. But I know the Oscars just passed, and since we're talking about standards for men and we have a lovely lady on the panel, I want to know, what is the standard that women are aspiring to and that they're willing to tolerate? Because people will go back and forth and say that, hey, Russell Wilson is a simp, a beta, etc. I won't even get into that, and I'm just using a celebrity example just because it's a widely known phenomenon that people could talk about, and it represents a lot of people's thinking. So this is an image of Russell Wilson and his beautiful wife when she was pregnant, right? And I understand there's a celebrity aspect to it. I understand all of the talking points that will justify this, but is this because unfortunately a lot of people look up to celebrities. So once you're pregnant, then they will say, hey, look, I could show all of this stuff because this is the standard. Sierra has done it. Why can't you? You can't judge me, don't slut shame me, slut walking, etc. And then this was when she was pregnant and had the baby bump. This just happened a couple days ago. So I don't really have the image. I tried to download it, but it didn't come up. But if you can see, she has her derriere out, and if you
Joe hella smiling over there. Joe, calm down over there, bro.
Well,
come on.
no, Joe's like the chocolate.
I got a lot to say when it comes to my turn, but keep going.
Okay, Joe's like that chocolate, white chocolate. I got you. I ain't gonna lie, that this is a nice
Stop it.
She is
been smiling this whole time before that photo came up. Let's not cap.
Okay. I was like, hopefully it ain't Joe to go and not.
You guys trying to start a fight out here. It's crazy. It's crazy. A lot of violence going on today.
Hey, this is what we do over here.
What we do.
But OG Patrice, I'm coming to you right here. So I think that she looks extremely attractive. The cheeks is out, the cakes is looking marvelous. If you look in the front, her boobies are showing, and she's here comfortable with her man. So my ultimate question is this type of apparel, this type of dressing, because it's not just celebrities doing this. I'm just showing the celebrities because people know them. Is this the standard that we should have our young girls looking up to? Is this the standard that wives should be looking up to? Even women that are in their 20s and 30s, should they be looking up to the celebrity, what they promulgate in the music and this type of apparel? So go ahead and rock out, please, OG Patrice.
Okay, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you letting me come up on the panel. I think this is my first time coming up on y'all panel, rocking with y'all.
Exactly. That's why I was like, oh snap, OG Patrice, stop the presses. We gotta have her.
It feels good. And salute to you all on the panel and salute to the chat, everybody. I hope that all is well.
You too, OG Patrice.
Thank you. I'm just gonna say, keep it 100. Y'all know the standard right now is confused as hell, in my humble opinion. Right? I think the standard, especially with the younger generation, and if celebrities are setting the trend and the status quo for the standard, then we living in a world of confusion, right? Because that's what we see going on. And now Sierra is a married woman now. When she was single and dating Future and Bow and all these different men, they were saying, "Oh, she for the streets, she for the streets." And now she's a married, kept woman with children, and this is still how she coming out looking on the red carpet at the Oscars. So, and obviously it's acceptable to her husband, but
Hold on, OG Patrice, let me just give you this alley-oop. You seen how Angela Bassett was looking, right?
Absolutely.
She was killing it.
This is what I
need to go this route.
And this is what I was getting ready to say, because, and then again, I may get called old or fuddy-duddy or whatever, but, the red carpet for these award shows was about glamour and class and elegance and all of that, with a tad bit of sex appeal, but to the imagination of the man, not to the let me see everything you got and what you're working with type of thing, right? So it's just a different standard that's very confusing to me, because if the younger generation is now, the status quo for the standard is dressed like women like Sierra was dressed, or dressed like some of the younger generation are dressing, and when they attend these affairs, then it's a confused standard, in my humble opinion. I think, and even with the other community, whether they're whatever letter that they representing, if that is the standard for heterosexual men, then I'm sorry, there's some confusing there too as well. I just think that it is, it should not be the status quo for the standards to be what we ordinary regular folk see in celebrities and them as leaders or setting the example for the trends. I don't agree with that at all.
Thank you so much, OG Patrice. I knew I threw that alley-oop. I knew she didn't just dunk it. She did she did some Mac McClung stuff, took it 360, windmilled it. And M3, thank you for coming up, but I just want to be respectful of their time and have some order. So I was supposed to go to Joe to go next. Vouaghn Bryant. Did you have...
you good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I just want to say one quick thing, B-Eazy, right? I heard from a YouTuber, right? You might want to be careful when showing the front side of Sierra. Back side is probably okay, but since she's kind of like, you can see the see-through or whatever, the YouTube police will come in. So I just saw somebody had to censor their stuff on Sierra, but I could grab an image real quick and then try to censor it.
All three, yeah. No,
I just got one question I want to ask too, because what do you men think, even though she's a married, kept woman with children now and dressing the way she dressed, would you all still say she still acts like or dresses like a woman for the streets?
And hold on, I definitely want to get to the comments, because they cooking in the comment. But OG Patrice asked a great question, and I actually, M3, if you could answer it real quick, I want you to answer it, and then Joe to go, because you are married, M3. So imagine, let's go to fantasy land, that M3 is the hot shot mogul tycoon, and you there with Miss M3. Would you find what Sierra wore appropriate? And I mean, of course, this is no judgment. Like, it's your lady, your household, your covering. Would you find something like this? And luckily, M3, I don't even have the one of her front. I downloaded it, but something didn't work. So maybe it was meant for me not to show it. But would this be appropriate? You already know what the front looks like. Imagine this is Miss M3. Is this appropriate for you on the red carpet?
It's inappropriate at home, but I said this on somebody else's platform too, to Tom Mario's platform. I was like, look, man, like me and my wife, we don't get down like that, not for the public. I mean, why would she need to feel comfortable wearing that like in front of millions of people? What's the point of it?
Thanks, M3. And I know you got a lot to
Great
say.
answer.
We're definitely gonna come back to you. I like when you get straight to the point, concise.
Yeah.
Say a lot. Sometimes less is more. And Joe to go, bro. I know you have a lot to say.
He's about to blow up. Let Joe go, man. He about to blow up, bro.
I know Joe is about to go off, but before he goes off, M3, do you got some air horns?
Yeah, I got the air horns ready.
Yeah, shout out to that haircut that Joe got.
Joe
He over here killing
he went to
Listen, ever since I saw this barber, like my life has changed. I'm just telling you. If you're having a bad day, see a barber. They may fix it.
That's it,
all I
bro.
gotta say.
That's
all I gotta say.
Bruh, your haircut is fire. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. It like fits your face and everything. No, so for the record, did you go to Supercuts or you went to a brother or what?
I went to it was a like a Supercuts, I think. It was pretty. Yeah.
I told you
it went pretty well. Didn't know the lady. I just told her to cut it however the heck you wanted to cut it, and this is how she cut it. Like, honestly, at first I was like, eh. And then, the days went by and everyone's like, man, this is a really nice haircut. And then looking at myself in the mirror, it just wasn't the same. I was like, man, I should have went back to that lady and told her that she just changed my life. It's crazy.
Right. I'm looking.
The ladies don't look at me the same. My friends don't look at me the same. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Bruh, I was actually about to hit. Hold on. When Joe to go came, I was about to hit him with this. Because I was like, who is he?
Yeah. Hilarious. Let's go.
Speaking of that, B-Eazy, we might have to do a verification real quick for Mr. Pirate Brain.
Mr. Pirate Brain, I see you lurking in the chat.
Wave your hands a little bit, Mr. Pirate Brain. Let me know that's you. Okay. Now recording. He's legit.
Okay, cool.
Salute.
Yeah, so we gotta order Mr. Pirate Brain. We going to Joe to go. We going to Vouaghn Bryant M3, and then to you, Joe to go. We just had to salute you on the haircut, bro. You really do look extra fly, bro. Like, we joking and
Appreciate
stuff,
it,
bro. You look like a little. I ain't gonna lie, you look like a Viking, bro. I don't know if you've seen that series, but you look like your name is Ragnar Lothbrok. But shout out to Joe.
You look like you was in a
crazy.
Netflix movie or something, bro. I don't know.
That's what, Hollywood Joe. Joe, go to Hollywood. Go ahead.
I honestly, after seeing those photos, I'm not sure if I want to go to Hollywood. You're talking me out.
You're absolutely right.
But yeah, I'm gonna definitely I just came back from a live stream with Lucas, and he was talking about all about the stuff. On top of that, what happened with Sneeko, and apparently how he took his girl to a swinger party. So I've had a wild night where it's like you let your wife dress like this in front of everybody, like on television, and getting press photos. I mean, that's wild to me. But as far as like fashion goes, what I'm gonna say is this is gonna start some violence. But if we go back to like the 1600s, high heels were made for men. A lot of times when you see like high fashion and like celebrities, is they often test things. And certain things that were not popular like 20 years ago that were considered feminine are popular now, such as skinny jeans, which I happen to wear. That was started by millennials. I'm Gen Z. So men wearing skinny jeans back then was kind of like a joke. But, I really liked the rock scene, and eventually I've become accustomed to wearing skinny jeans. Now, you may think that's a sin against mankind. I don't care. But I do understand that certain things are extreme, but certain cultures, men do wear like things that kind of look like skirts. So it is what it is in a sense, but I do understand complaints around people bending gender norms and why certain people take issue with that. And I also think that when you're talking about celebrities, it's a very different landscape when you're talking about people like you and me, because the average woman, I don't think, likes men dressed that way unless they're famous, unless they have a reason to dress that way, like they're on TV or doing publicity or something where they can get away with kind of doing something that's a bit different, more high fashion type of things where it's an occasion that seems normal. If a man was dressing like that in a normal day to day, not for a magazine or something, a lot of them would be like, "What the heck? This is weird." I don't think that if you're married, your woman would want you to dress that way. I don't even think if you're dating, your woman will want you to dress that way. So, when you're talking about Hollywood, it's a completely different bubble from when you were talking about the average Joes like myself. So, I do definitely think that the fashion industry, a lot of what you see on the runway, initially you're thinking, man, this is really weird. I'm not a big fan of high fashion. It's definitely way different from what people wear in the day-to-day, because essentially how I see that whole industry is it's essentially test running things, and eventually certain things or certain aspects of what's being tested out and all the craziness in the high fashion world ends up becoming mainstream eventually. When you just look at the way shoes have changed in the last 20 years, definitely you see some odd looking designs that you wouldn't have ever expected when it comes to like sports shoes, different things 20 years ago. So I just think fashion is a landscape, and it's constantly being pushed and it's constantly changing. So we don't know what's going to be considered masculine, what is feminine, because I think it's all designed by culture, so to speak. And I think in 200 years it could look completely different, could look the same. I don't know. So
yeah, and thanks, Joe. That was a very substantive answer.
You can disagree, but yeah.
No, I didn't.
I'm not trying to derail the whole convo.
No, it's not that I necessarily disagree. This is what we're trying to figure out, because some people say, there's a dude who was the black dude that played in Ant-Man and Creed. What's his name?
Oh, you talking about like the guys, what's his name?
Are you talking about the guy who played Killmonger?
No. You're talking about the guy
Jonathan something. Jonathan.
He's the new Ant-Man.
I think his name is Jonathan Majors.
That's
right. Did the Vogue.
Exactly. So he just had an interview where he and others are saying that masculinity is fluid, and this is why I'm showing this image, because this is Harry Styles. He has got his hands on his hip, and he's allegedly heterosexual. He was in a marriage, it didn't work out. But when someone says masculinity is fluid, like Joe was saying, in other cultures they wore dresses, maybe they didn't look as fashionable as this, but a kilt is pretty much like a skirt, right? So this is why we're asking about standards, because if the standard was for heels were made for men and kilts were made for men, is men wearing heels the standard? And
B-Eazy, John Majors just was on the cover of one of the magazines, and he was dressed similar to that. See if you can find that, if you can pull it up, so I can see why he's saying that. And he says he's heterosexual. So
correct. Yeah, no, and
so Hollywood pushes the norms, but I'm not sure they are the norms, and that's kind of where I'm coming from, if that makes sense. Because they might have an idea of normative behavior, but it's not normative. I know I'm not supposed to interrupt, but
it's
just clarify.
But a lot of people do see celebrities as the standard, and it is a form of delusion to think that you have any but many people are. It's delusion is a hell of a drug. So some people do believe they look at celebrities and they say, I want a man that's 6 feet, 6-pack, earning all of this stuff, right? They're basing their standards off what they've seen in the Hollywood celebrity movie media type of sphere. So whether it's reality or not, well, attaining it is not reality, but someone desiring it and aspiring for that, that's real, right? Because it's a real thought, you know, whether they get it or not, that's a whole separate issue. But Vaughn Bryant, you've been patiently waiting. Go ahead and rock out, brother. You can take it whatever direction you want to go based on what you've heard. But before you go, I'm going to hit you with 2 images and then I want you to rock out. All right,
you know, you a funny dude, B-Eazy. I swear to God, man.
Well, listen, you know, greetings to everybody on the panel. Excuse my voice, it's a little late, so you know I'm a little rusty while I'm trying to talk. But man, listen, this is quite interesting topic, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, because I do have some issue with this, you know, and please forgive me because I was brought up in a certain era, you know what I'm saying? So I can only speak to what I'm used to, you know, and what I have been taught, you know. And there was a time when there was men's apparel and there was women's apparel. And so now the lines are starting to become blurred. So we're looking at blurred lines because now is it really masculine or is it really feminine, you know? And it's okay to be one or the other. God designed us that way. So I'm trying to figure out, and you know, and I don't want to be too judgmental with my statement, so just be patient with me. But you know, when it comes to this young lady stepping out with her husband, you know, definitely find problem there. You know, it's no way on God's green earth that I would allow my wife to go out to a public event with me dressed that way. Number one, she is a representation of who I am. And she's a representation of our kids and our family. So to me, it shows absolutely no respect for your husband. And to me, it shows absolutely no respect for your children. Because these are the same children that have to go to school and be mocked and laughed at. Because mommy is all over the airwaves with her ass all out and her breast showing. You see, so listen, I'm not the judge of anyone. People are allowed to do what they want to do. And I get it. With all of me, I get it. But I will say this, though, you know, there is a standard. And that's what we're talking about tonight, right? We're talking about standards, right?
Correct.
You know,
just Vaughn Bryant is standards. Standards is the topic, but the question is how many of us have them. Some of us don't have standards, and some do have standards, but the standards are either negative or toxic. Go ahead, Mr. Bryant.
Kill it, Vaughn. Kill it.
Get it. And see, and I get that. You know, it's like standards. How many of us actually do have them? You know, and there was a word, ladies and gentlemen, that we used a while back, and it was called class. You know, what happened to class? And when you look at what was her name? Angela Bassett. You know, great representation. You see what I'm saying? Beautifully dressed. See what I'm saying? Sexy at the same time. I don't know why these young ladies feel that they have to show you everything in order for them to be pictured as a sexy person. You see what I'm saying? Some things should be left to the imagination. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, how many of us do have standards?
Surprisingly, Meg Thee Stallion was dressed more classier this time.
I noticed that.
Actually, was dressed classy.
And listen, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and say that hey, her body wasn't beautiful. I'm a man. You see what I'm saying? I would be remiss if I didn't notice that. But since you have it out here in front of God and everybody, I can see it now. You see what I'm saying? But what is the result of what you're doing? And absolutely, why are you doing it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just leave it right there. I have more to say on this topic because when it comes to standards, you know, I'm a firm believer, and you know, and I do come from a Christian standpoint in my views. So, you know, I'm not trying to push it, the narrative on anyone, you know, but those, that is the type of way that I do speak. And that's where I get my standards from. See, that is the substratum of my faith, is the word of God. You know, teach me, O Lord, the ways of thy statutes. and I will keep them until the end. Just give me understanding, and I will heed thy law. Yea, I will uphold them with my whole heart. So what it is we've become a nation that has left God and has run away from God. And so that's why there's no shame anymore. There's no shame. I'm going to leave it there, and then I'll try to pick it back up later.
Let's go. Preach.
Yeah. Who we have next? Princess K? How you doing, Princess K?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really just I've been having this conversation for a few days now, just watching that picture of her standing there with her ass out. Excuse my French, right? And I'm kind of just like, just as everybody else here is astounded, I'm also astounded because I don't know what actually is the reasoning for that. Like, why are you moving like a single woman and you're married? You know, and I peeped the fact that a couple weeks ago, she released a song about women doing it on their own. And it's like, okay,
Right.
you know,
And I
now
think
granted,
Christian too.
right. And it's like, granted, I know that there are a lot of celebrities who sing stuff that they're not living by. Newsflash, young people, that's also me, I guess. The city girls, they're not city girls. One is hugged up on a guy who has a diamond shape embedded in his forehead. I'm pretty sure he's a 12-year-old in a grown man's body. Next one is with the man who is on the down low, but not down, if you know what I mean. So it's just like they're going home to men. Now, are they happy homes? We don't know. But y'all, please, can we just get ourselves together? I don't understand why you as a wife will walk out there with your ass out like that. First of all, we're not dumb here. We know that there's going to be attention on that. There's a difference between being fashionable and just trying to make a statement or get attention. And it's kind of just like, that is just terrible, you know? And it's like, as a celebrity, you also have a personal responsibility pertaining to your household, because your kids are young right now. But like Mr. Vaughn had said before, you know, at some point they're going to get older. I mean, there are 2-year-olds who know how to work these the phones and the tablets and all of that very easily. It's easy for them to pull up a picture. Hey, your mom had her butt out. My mom says your mom is a slut. Do you see how that can start stuff? Next thing you know, your kid comes crying, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? They told me my mom had her butt out and they said you're a slut. And, then you might think to yourself, okay, my actions do have an effect on my family. And that's really the ultimate thing. Standards, right? That's something set up by society, usually your culture or whatnot. It can be good, it can be bad, based off of how you use them and what you're living by. But at the end of the day, you're not your own person, especially if you're married. You're not your own person. You're a wife. You have a husband. You have children, if you guys choose to have them. You're attached to them. You're not just your own person, even without being married. You're attached to your family. You're attached to your friends. You know, even though you may not think it to be as much, whatever you do affects who you are connected to. There's a reason why there's a statement called birds of a feather flock together. That's because generally the people that you are around are the people that you tend to, you know, cohabitate with and live by in terms of values.
Princess K, may I ask you a question? So as a young lady from that generation, do you think now, because of the change of the times and, sex selling and, promiscuity and everything that goes with this, Do you think that it's something to prove with these women to say, hey, even though I'm a wife and a mother, I gotta show the world that I still got it. Like, what do you think? And for the men, I want her to answer that for the woman's perspective, and for the men's perspective, answer each individually. Like, do you think that that's the acceptable norm? That, you know, even if you were in that generation, you would say that's acceptable for your wife to dress like that with you at an event gala just because it's Hollywood.
Right. Wow. I do believe that there is an aspect of, I want to show people what I have, and I want to show everything. I also believe it the truth of the matter is, my generation didn't grow up with grandparents who had sense. A lot of us did not grow up with people who are actual positive role models. So from my observations, based off of not just my own thoughts, but conversations I've had with women my age and younger, they do this, they act this way because they think this is okay. And it isn't until something causes them to take a step out from themselves and look at the situation and say, hey, wait, I did this, and now I'm looking at my child, or I'm looking at my family, my parents, and this makes them look bad. You know, I did something that caused them to be impacted, even though they weren't the ones who partook in what I was doing. You know, but and that doesn't even come often. But now we have this world where it's like, you can't tell somebody. Like, if you tell a woman, hey, you're 250 pounds, why are you wearing a size 0? I'm not fat shaming you. I'm just saying your clothes don't fit properly. But whatever. Good. Do you? You know, as for me and mine, what I will say though is, I would love for us to walk and move like we have some sense, like we have class, and like we actually value ourselves. Because when I see women walk around naked and acting in all types of ways, I'm not saying that I'm perfect either, but when I see that, I'm just like, this is somebody that doesn't value themselves. And it makes me sad. To a certain extent, it makes me sad. You don't value yourself. And I believe that it doesn't confuse me that men tend to treat you the way that you value yourself. Now, I'm not saying that condones abuse of any kind or anything like that, but people will treat you the way that you treat yourselves. We know this. This is human nature. But let me stop, because I'm about to go on around.
I mean, Princess K, like, you was definitely like cooking, you know, maybe overcooking in the kitchen, but still, nevertheless, he was cooking.
Nah,
so
I was trying to interject. She wasn't overcooking.
I'm saying that as a term of endearment, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought she did quite well. So.
Yeah,
she did.
I wanted to interject some points, but I'm gonna go to you real quick, Mr. Private Brain. But I just want to hit home other couple points that she was saying. You know, it's not really fat shaming when someone says, because now I'm seeing this in, look, if you a fat dude, you know what I mean, you already know that you got a pot belly, bro. Nobody wants to see you wearing, like, you know, sagging your pants and we understand that. But when it's the same thing too, if you're an obese person, nothing against you, but you don't just need to be showing your gut to everyone else. You know what I mean? People don't really need to see that. If we're saying that, hey, nobody needs to see all of your cleavage and your camel toe, it's not no one is trying to offend you to say, hey, just tuck your gut. You know what I mean? Like, you are in a position where you're not really comfortable with it, but now you want to project your insecurity on me and try to make me comfortable with it. And I've seen people with countless sons. I've seen people that were cheerleaders and had a high school body. And if you put someone that was 350 pounds next to him and said, hey, do you think she's more fair, more beautiful, has a more attractive physique? They will say, heck nah. But then they want to push these same type of women on and say everyone's beautiful, and this is the standards. Yeah, everyone is beautiful in their own right, but that doesn't negate the standards. We don't want to get to a point you can say it's fat shaming, fat phobic, or whatever. But if we see a swimsuit competition, I mean, come on now. How lax are we going to go with the standards? We see a bodybuilding competition and we give the title to Rick Ross. We see a swimsuit competition and get a title to Lizzo. Maybe I'm wrong and sexist and misogynistic to say that, in my belief, that never was the standard and it shouldn't be the standard. People will try to say, oh, that's Eurocentric. No, let's talk about Afrocentric. Go look in the 50s, 60s, and beyond, and black women wasn't looking like Lizzo. Shout out to Lizzo. I'm not saying that everyone was super skinny, petite, etc., but there was a standard that someone aspired to. So we can't just completely don't have any type of standards with anything. That's why they have it in the military too, right? Show me a military movie when they got a bunch of fat soldiers. Show me someone in the Navy that's super fat. Show me the Marine. Now, I'm not saying that they couldn't be, but what position are they going to be? Driving a tank, manning some drones or something? The people that's out there running in the field is doing so much. Bruh, if you pass those fitness standards, there's no way that you're going to be fat or out of shape. So I'm saying standards are definitely necessary, good or bad. We do need the bad standards too to say what is an unacceptable standard. So go ahead, Mr. Firebrain.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm 61. Problem.
Oh snap, bro! You look good, bro. You definitely don't look 61, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I see, bro. You look. I'm gonna be real, bro. You look like you a smooth 49, bro.
Well, thank you.
For real.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm 61, and I grew up in a time when I went to high school. I went to high school in the 70s. We had one fat chick that went to our school. One. You go to a high school now, and half of the high school's overweight. Right? And we ashamed. It's like when you were describing it, you were saying like if a man is fat and blah, 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 and if a woman, you didn't even want to use the term. You know, it's like men are shamed for using the term obese as far as referencing a woman. And that's, we had, when I was in high school, we had one girl that had a child while she was in high school. Now, you'd be lucky to find one that don't have a child in high school. And if you did have a child, they had a special school. I grew up in Baltimore and Columbia, Maryland. They had a special school that if you had a baby, they had to move you to that school. You weren't allowed to come to the regular school if you was a single mother. Now, they're using the term single mother as a badge of honor. You know, and I refuse to not be disgusted about it because it's disgusting that now baby daddy is an acceptable term. You know, that's just my baby daddy, you know. Shout out to Uncle Luke, you know. But it's just everything is upside down. Like Angela Bassett, you called her name out, she was classy. What was Brooke Shields doing, putting her hands on Angela Bassett's buttocks? You know what I'm saying?
I was out of pocket.
It's out of pocket. So, and Sierra is abusing.
Wait a minute. Did I hear him say Brooke Shields put her hand on Angela Bassett's ass?
Wait, yes. That happened?
Yes.
There's no
Excuse me?
There's barely any respect nowadays.
Yeah, at the Oscars?
When it comes to treating each other.
Yeah, like 2
Yeah,
days ago.
yeah, happened a couple days ago. And here's the thing,
Wow.
with Sierra, everyone knows that she's disrespecting Russell Wilson. But the thing of it is, our divorce laws are so screwed up that a woman can abuse a husband, you know, as soon as she get married and have a baby, and then say, you know what? Now I'm leaving you. I'm taking half your stuff. And we've set these divorce laws up that men get abused and they have to take it or they get divorce raped. And that's why so many men, black men, are leaving the country. Well, black and white men both are leaving the country. They don't want to put up with it no more, and they refuse to date women. And it's a shame because we do have beautiful women in this country.
I think you mean American women. Is that what you're trying to say?
American women, yes, American women. They leaving the country right now because they don't want to deal with it. And it's a shame because the good American women are scared to reprimand the bad American women because they get shamed for reprimanding. That, you know, it's like a hive mentality, you know, that they have. So if you attack one of them, they all and they attack you. And what they're doing is messing up the country because now it's hard for women to get married. It's hard, and men, they leaving. And with this attitude that we have in this country right now, you know, women can't say, well, you know, I'm gonna leave and go get married. Nobody wants none of that. Nobody wants none of that. They have to stay here and get married. And it's kind of ironic because a lot of the women said they didn't want those black men because they was no good. They not making six figures. They not this, they not that. But then when they say, okay, you don't want me, it's fine. We don't want to mess with you no more. We're not going to bother you anymore. We leaving. Then when we leave, it's like, oh no, you can't leave, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And Hollywood is kicking all of that off because there's no way that your wife should be out there gallivanting with her buttocks hanging out and her breasts hanging out like that. There's no excuse for it. I don't care what somebody says the fashion should be and Hollywood is trending. No, it's trending wrong. I'm sorry. I digress.
Wow. Well, can I just say something real quick? I'm not sure if you want to go to the next topic, but I just wanted to address something that that B-Eazy, you know, he also showed a photograph of a young man, you know, with his pants below his buttocks, with his underwear showing. And so I have a problem with that as well.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Because what is it about your character that makes you want to show your underwear, young man? You see what I'm saying? Is this how you move? Is this how you do? You know?
I used to work in the prison system.
Yeah, and I know that whole scenario, you know, of where it originated from. So I get it. Yeah. But to me, this type of behavior is just as bad. It's a bad representation of who we should be as young black men. I don't see a lot of white individuals doing this. Now, not to say that some aren't doing it, but they're mimicking the culture that we've started as black people, you know. And if you look at the word sagging, and if you spell it backwards, you know, there's a connotation there. It spells niggas. See, sagging spelled backwards spells niggas. Now I know that's offensive, but when somebody brought that to my attention, I said, wow, you know, God knows how to really use a play on words sometimes. You know, what are we doing as a group of people, man? You know, what is it about us that makes us feel like we should show our ass? What is it about that? I don't get it. And maybe, I'm the same age as Mr. Pirate Brain, but I don't get it. There was a time, man, listen, we back in the 40s, man, and that's way before me, but when I look at history and I see how Black people carried themselves, there was a certain pride that we had about how we looked when we stepped outside the door, how we represented ourselves. And we've really gotten away from that. You see what I'm saying? And I know times change and things get more modern as we go, and perspectives change, and fads, they come and they go and they change, but still the respect that you should have for yourself should not change at all. You see what I'm saying? How are we respecting ourselves? I don't like what I'm seeing, and it's just my opinion, and I appreciate the opportunity to have a space to share that. But this is not appropriate to me. Absolutely, where does this image say that you're going in life? Huh? See what I'm saying? Pull up your pants, young man, and get an appropriate job. Pull up your pants.
I just gotta lead this here and let you cook for a little bit, because it's true, bruh. So when you see this image, you be like, this dude is gonna be a dude who wears his pants like this is gonna be a suitable male for my daughter. A dude like this
is horrible. Let's show everybody.
Do not come to my door. If I had a daughter, you best believe you would be going the opposite way, approaching my door, trying to see my daughter.
But see, those are the men that are getting sex. See, I don't even call them men. Those are the boys that are getting rewarded with sex.
And then also, too, let me just say this:
because they can't even run properly if the police get after them. They tripping over there.
Hold on.
It looks like those white boys that think they're thugging.
Mr. Brian, I'm gonna let you finish.
Remember Huggy Bear? Or used to run down the street.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. Wait, hold on, guys. Mr. Brian's not finished yet.
Yeah.
We're talking over everybody.
I just had only one more point.
Mr. Brian finishes one point, but I just gotta say,
B-Eazy?
Where'd you go?
He had to say something, but
he was welcoming our new addition here.
I think
Intrepidus.
Hello.
Hi, Intrepidus. Did I say that right? No, I probably didn't.
B-Eazy, are you back?
Hey, girl.
I think the GOV probably took him out momentarily, but he'll be back. Go ahead, Vouaghn Bryant. I got you, B-Eazy.
All right. So listen, when and back to the garb that Sierra had on. Here's another issue with that. Why are you dressing in a way to where you're tempting other men to fornicate? See,
exactly.
Fornication and adultery. Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, could y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, my bad, bro. I had accidentally muted myself on the mic, bro.
We were wondering what happened, man.
Yeah, my bad. So let Mr. Brian finish his thought, but I just want to say this one thing because this is a real life scenario. When OG Patrice was talking about when you wearing your pants like this and wearing your pants like this, there was a young aspiring rapper, and he was from Sacramento. His name was Briz. The dude was dope and lyrically in the music, but he was out there thugging in the streets, and he used to be wearing his pants like this. And when his ops pulled up on him, he was running and he actually fell. And I'm not saying he would have survived the scenario, but this didn't make it no better. He's running, trying with one hand, trying to fight people off. The other hand, he's trying to pull up his pants, and it slowed him down, and he ended up getting deleted. But it's like this: if you get into a fight, how would this help you? You need to run from danger. How would you help you? You're looking for a virtuous wife, a submissive wife. How will this help you? So, Mr. Brian, go ahead and finish your thought, and then we'll go to Intrepidus.
No, you know what? Listen, exactly everything you're saying, brother, I agree with. I don't condemn these young men. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we're doing things through ignorance and just not knowing any better. you know. And when you know better, sometimes you can do better. You know what I'm saying? But what I wanted to say in closing on that Sierra thing, you know, why would you as a woman, you know, put yourself in a position to be so exposed, enticing other men? You see what I'm saying? Not just your husband, but other men. You see what I'm saying? And then you find it strange when someone comes up to you and make remarks about your breast and makes
That's a good
remarks
point,
to you
Vaughn.
about
Hold on,
Very
Mr. Bryant. Let me ask you this.
behind.
Yep.
Is that a form of cheating? Because you just said what she's doing is not only to solicit attention and garner attention from her man, but she's doing that to get the clout of other men. Do you consider that a form of cheating, especially in a marriage, Mr. Bryant?
I don't believe that. I wouldn't call it being faithful. See, being faithful in a marriage does not just consist of you not having sex with someone else. Being faithful in a marriage is you upholding the standards and the statutes and the covenant of the marriage. You see what I'm saying? So when you are out here like this, and I notice every picture I see of this brother holding her hand, he's definitely not smiling. You know, there's no great smile that I saw on his face. Maybe they have some other photos where he's actually grinning, you know, but I haven't seen any yet, you know. But then you are also responsible for enticing other people to commit indiscretion against God in their mind.
Hey, is this a smile or a grin, Mr. Bryant?
I don't know.
That is a win.
It looks like he's grinning.
It looks like he's high, actually. No, it looks like he's about like 2 seconds away from farting. That's what it looks like.
Big Rick shot him a pack. And Mr. Bryant, I still want to let you finish, but I just want to add this. In this imagery, she is actually pregnant right here. So this is how she's dressed as she's a pregnant wife.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Bryant.
And so then again, I'm trying to figure out in my mind, why is it that you feel that you have to exploit yourself this way and show every man on YouTube, at the Oscars, in front of God and everybody, but it should be private to your husband? That's not being faithful. That's not being faithful to your husband or your children, you know. Not to mention that you're tempting a whole bunch of gentlemen every time you walk by. Because see, everybody likes a big butt and a smile now. You see what I'm saying? Oh my God! And even those gentlemen, listen, you are tempting people. Listen, she's tempting individuals who are married now.
Look how she looking back though.
That's trying to
She know it.
Is she looking back at the future? Oops.
Oh, and looking back at M3. Why you doing that, bro? M3, why you doing that?
Wow. But yeah, no, I just wanted to say that, man, you know. And you know, hopefully she gets a little bit more class about herself, you know, because you can still be a sexy young lady and you don't have to, you know, show every crack and crevice. You see what I'm saying? You know, some things are just meant for the bedroom. Those are bedroom clothes she has on at the Oscars party. She should have came out the bathroom to entreat her husband with that garb on. Okay, now I'm gonna close mouth so that I do not insert foot.
Hey, look. Don't give Vouaghn Bryant like a belt, because you know, with that dialect, I feel like he could just whoop any kid right now that he could see. Right? You know what I mean?
Sit your fast ass down. Sit it down.
You know what I mean?
Mr. Brian gonna go off, man. Thank you for that piece. Intrepid, is you there, or are you still tending to the pooches?
Hey, but Vouaghn Bryant, like he said, he a man though. He is gonna take that glance though. If you gonna walk by, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
I'm saying this is, if
you're a man, is Russell cool with knowing that all these men gonna be definitely looking at his wife in that sense?
I think deep down Russell ain't, but you know what I'm saying? He looked like he ain't really got the pants in the relationship.
Yeah, you could kind of say that. I mean, most people will say most people will say he's like a simp, but I wouldn't even call him like a simp. You know what I mean? Because simps are usually people who can't really get the girl that they want, like Sierra. But Russell Wilson, I could definitely say that he's beta, all right, into that relationship. Because as you could kind of tell, it's the presence that Sierra gives out.
He's just like the football version of Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, just a little shorter than Dwayne, you know. But the point is that Sierra, she always like comes to her presence where, and look, I'm the star of the show. I'm the the one who, even though you can't really say the term wearing the pants because she ain't got nothing on, but figuratively, she does run the household.
She got something on, it just ain't much.
Yeah.
He ain't trying to lose his money.
She got on perfume.
Intrepid is, are you there?
I'm here.
So
I agree. She's wearing lingerie, right?
Hold on. Let me ask you this, Intrepidus. I don't know your marital status or any. It doesn't matter. But if you're in a relationship or was ever in a relationship, is there any scenario that you think that this would be an appropriate? Well, maybe if it's not the Oscars, right? Is there a party? Is there any venue that you think this would be appropriate for you or your daughter, your sister, your mom to wear this out in public?
I mean, no. The only thing I could think of is sex party. Like
a swinger party. Okay, that's a good.
Or
one.
like a
swinger party, BDSM dungeon, like whatever. But like not even clubbing. No, and I don't club though, so I'm not hip on what's happening over there. But I'm assuming that they're at least wearing underwear and do things like that, like
sometimes, occasionally.
Okay, yeah. No, I don't know. I wouldn't, and I wouldn't want.
Let me try this a different way. What is your issues with this? What do you take issue with this as being the standard, right? Because she's wearing this to the Oscars, a prestigious event. Why shouldn't this type of apparel be the standard for wives to wear out in public? Why do you believe that?
It's not that for me. It's not that because she's a wife necessarily. It's that she's trying to like create a talking point, right? She's getting free or advertising from this, and so like she's just kind of stirring the shit pot with her outfit. When really she probably has a lot more than that to offer, right? Like.
Oh, she definitely does, and I think that's why some people have the issue because she is super talented. She can sing. She is very flexible, acrobatic. So even though she has more to offer, you don't see it. But what you always see is those cakes. So she's intelligent, but you see the cakes before that. You see the buns before you see the brains, and I think that is what the issue. Now the buns are nice. I do like perfect strong buns, but I would prefer to see the brains, but you never see it because she's always dressed like this and promoting and promulgating this. So we're just trying to get to the bottom. Should this be the standard? Because not only are they saying masculinity is fluid, they're saying femininity is fluid. And don't slut shame her, Intrepidus. If she wants to be a wife and dress like this, who are you to tell her that?
Don't slut shame her, Intrepidus.
I'm just saying, these are the talking points that's out there.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
It's not enough clothes, period.
Okay.
I mean, the fluidity of a gender has nothing to do with like whether you're wearing enough clothes, in my opinion. Like you need to like have your ass and tits covered, period.
Okay. And then too, how sanitary is that? Say she has to go to the bathroom.
Oh, shit.
Say that she has to
You
go to the
sitting
toilet.
down everywhere and all kinds,
and
man.
but then she's sitting her bare ass on a seat at the party.
You better not
That's what I'm saying.
Sister Patrice comes next to sit down. I mean, how sanitary is it?
Yeah. I've been looking at this picture trying to figure out how she did that in the bathroom because I know you had to pee. So what exactly are you? Look at this. Okay. So do you lift that up or do you take that portion that's right on her ass and lower it slightly and then try to pee through that tiny hole, or do you just pee through the stocking?
And then you're going to sit
I have questions.
That's the only way. Pee through the mesh and just dry it off. You're
No,
not.
wait, more and more, this is starting to look like
It does look
one
like
of
it
those
would dry
fish
quick though.
nets that they use for fishing.
nasty. Just
Yeah.
You
nasty.
could catch a whole lot of fish that way too. Fish stimps.
You could even catch a crab net, but let me stop though. But in Intrepidus, so I know what you were saying. Okay, cool. The woman shouldn't have her buns out like this. Do you apply that same energy to people that are very obese and rotund, that is always having their belly out? Do you apply that same logic to them too?
Are you talking about overweight people like you were before,
Correct.
or just people in general?
The people that know they are a size 35, but they try to wear a size 5.
Yeah. I mean, I wish they wouldn't. Because it's like what Princess K was saying, I think, or was it Patrice, who was saying like, like your clothes don't fit,
Right.
So like wear clothes that fit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
My housemate wants to chime in now. I was trying to get her to join earlier.
It's men's reaction that is going to determine if this becomes a norm or not. Because if young girls think they have to dress that way to please the young boys, then that's what they're going to do. So if the men are seeing this as, the norm for women, then boys are going to emulate them, and there we are. That's what I think.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
But she got muted.
And raise their boys that way and respect women, then we'll have a different standard.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And I know Joe to Go want to get back in there. Oh, actually, before I go to Joe to Go, Big Rig, did you have anything to say? And I'm gonna go back to Princess K after that. Big Rig, you've been chilling, bro. You still awake?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just listening to everybody right now. You know what I'm saying? When I feel I need to lightweight chime in or something, man, I'm gonna chime in. But everybody rocking out, man. I really appreciate all y'all rocking with us, man. It's a dope stream. Y'all really making this happen too, man. Everybody got some dope input. Let's keep it rocking.
All right, cool.
Can I say something? Because I'm gonna get ready.
Go ahead.
I appreciate y'all letting me rock with y'all. This is cool. If I can hang so late, I'm gonna try to come back again.
Yeah,
but I do have to. I do have to
get it in earlier for you, OG Patrice, because we got some work to do.
Yeah, it's all good. No, I enjoy myself, but I just, I want to say to the younger generation, like I it's not such a hard judge mentality that us older generation are having, because we were young once too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I had my era in time when I wore mini dresses and skirts and things like that. But I do remember one time, and I think I told this story before. I was in my 20s. And I'm just pulling on this mini dress, pulling it down, And my mother said to me, "Look, if you have to keep pulling on the dress, damn it, that means it's too little. It's too small. It's too little. Like, stop it." Like, and that stuck with me, like, all these years later. And I had my time when, I did my mini dresses and skirts and heels when I was going out to the club and all that. I get it. But it was a difference because there was still a sense of.
Risha, is that you?
No, that would never be. I never dressed that risque. I never dressed that risque. Now I did wear some mini dresses and mini skirts because I had beautiful legs, so I loved showing my legs. But it was a difference because I never showed my derriere, or anything of that nature. I never had my nipples out, and just nothing to that extent, right? But yeah, there was moments in things of an era and a time when I did wear mini skirts and mini dresses, but everything was always to taste and class for me as a woman because I always wanted to leave something to the man's imagination. That's where I think the younger generation has gotten it wrong because of Hollywood, because of reality TV, because of female rappers, because of songs that's being put out and pushed to the masses, because sexuality and sexual exploitation, because of all these things is happening, and the promiscuity that is going on in the younger generation now that perpetuates a lot of these things. So I would just say that I look forward to the younger generation making the same changes, in the era and time as it goes. It's the same way I did when I was younger. That phase went out for me. I started getting older. Of course, I started dressing different. Now, Sierra's got to be in her mid-30s now?
Correct.
And she's a wife and a mother of two, 3 kids now? 3 kids. She got 3 kids now. And so at some point there should be a gauge go off in her, that switch that goes off in her as a woman that is maturing and changing and knowing that she's a mother and a wife, to say, I can no longer dress like this because now the narrative has to change for me and my mindset has to change because I'm getting older. I can't continue to be this way. Or maybe not, because she's in entertainment. I don't know. But I just know that for me, a switch went off. And for most women and men, a switch usually go off in their mid to late 30s. So maybe that will happen for her. But I appreciate y'all letting me rock with y'all. Yeah, I'll be listening to chat till I fall asleep.
For sure, OG Patrice. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys. Good night.
Salute, OG Patrice.
All right.
You might have to say something real quick as far as
Nope.
Yep. All right.
Hold on. Just one thing.
Hold on. Now I'm doing a hold on. You know what I'm saying?
Man, where is 84?
Yeah, where is he? He is mysterious.
What the hell, 84? Where you at, bro? 84.
He'll probably be up in a minute. But B-Eazy, you played the wrong one though.
I know. I actually.
Hold on. If it's up, then it's stuck, man.
That's the one I meant to hit you with. Now
that,
go ahead.
That sounds a little bit more authentic, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, M3.
All right. So the thing is, like, we have to also look at ourselves, like, in our parts as well too, as men. Okay. Even though the majority will say they want a traditional woman, which I do believe that. But there gotta be some common grounds, right, where we could actually come to like a full understanding between men and women. Because for whatever reason, women still think that this is something that we want. Even though we keep telling them, probably on social media, but maybe it's not enough by doing it on social media. So we gotta figure out a way to let them know that, look, I mean, shaking your ass and getting butt naked is cool, but not out in the public. And I think women think because this will be a way to entice men to bring more attention, and if you're getting so many likes, it kind of like, validates it. So maybe it has something to do with social media and thinking that, okay, well, 1,000 or 100,000 men like my sexy pictures, I'm half naked. So that means that this is what the majority of men or all men are attracted to. So let me go out there and do my own thing. But those are people off on the internet. They'll like anything, But if you talk to a real man in person and you try to do that stuff out in public, he's gonna look at you like you're a weirdo. So I think that's probably pretty much like what's going on in that scenario.
All right, thanks, M3. Yeah, so I actually want to ask Big Rig something, and then I want to go back to Joe to Go and Princess K, and then Mr. Pirate Brain. It looked like he wanted to get in on there. So Big Rig, I really wanted you to touch back on because you know Vouaghn Bryant was cooking, you know, when he was talking about this type of unacceptable standard. And you know, we came from the slums, you know, and this I never was sagging this low. This is on some
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, this is on some Rainbow Mafia stuff. And
that's way down low right there. That's down low.
Exactly. That's what I said. This is the Alphabet Mafia.
Yeah, that's that other Menace to Society movie.
Yeah, exactly. And it looked like, in the other hand, what is he holding? Some cheeseburgers? Or we don't know. Is that some cheeseburgers in his hand? But
I hope so.
Yeah, but you
even the bottom of the pants ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That whole scene ain't right, bro.
Listen, you made a good point about trying to get away, though. You made when you made that point about trying to get away, you know. And what do you do if you get in a tussle? You know what I'm saying? Come on,
the same thing.
You better dress for war. Especially
if
you live in some of these hoods, you need to dress for war. You know what
a lot of these cats be living in the hood, a concrete jungle, but yet you dressing like this, so you're not prepared for any scuffle. You're not prepared to get any woman that's submissive, virtuous, and of any type of means. So just this alone, you setting yourself up for failure. And I know, Big Rig, I think we talked about this similarly before, and I know that you said you brought up an anecdote with your son, you know, like, you know, because we was always doing that. So could you speak on, you know, around that, of you setting the standard in your household that this is unacceptable, or is this acceptable in your household? I don't want to assume or presume. Go ahead, Big Rig.
For sure. Yeah, man, you know, if you see the young dudes nowadays, man, you know, they're ridiculous, bro. They sagging really, really low, just ridiculous. And you know, I tell my son, you know, when he's around the house, you know, I pick him up from school sometimes, and I'll catch him and I'll be like, bro, pull your pants up, man. You know what I'm saying? And then, or when he kind of comes out, he might kind of catch me and pull him up. But I know he pulling them down, you know what I'm saying, when he probably at the school.
As soon as he get to the school.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't dumb, bro. But I be telling him at the same time, though, like, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully me telling him all the time and him correcting himself when he see me, you know, he just, it'll click. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta always keep pulling my pants up when my dad come around anyways, man. I'm gonna just keep these things up, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah.
Thanks, Big Rig. I mean, that's all we wanted. And I actually definitely want to get after Joe, I want to get the ladies' perspective, because I know how men, but I want to hear the ladies when they see men dressing like this. Does this turn them on? Does it make them moist?
Oh, they love it. They love it.
You know what I mean? You know, do they start getting tingly and say, "Oh,
right,
the ring on it"? Who knows? You know, I see Intrepid is smiling. Is this what you were smiling at?
Yeah, Intrepid is like that shit.
I'm like, okay.
I love that your commentary B-Eazy, just like your description of like, does it make you moist?
All right, Joe, to go. We going straight to you.
Okay, all right. Let me cook, because all this is why I'm processing a lot here. I got a lot in mind. First off, is imagine dying because your pants was too low. Like, you're running around in the hood and someone's got a gun and you can't get away because you're sagging your pants and you trip and fall. That is crazy to me. Another thing that I have in mind is generally societies that accept nudity have lower birth rates. So the more sexualized a society is, potentially they could have less people giving birth to children. So that's the logical, and the data shows this. So essentially that's why nudity in a sense is wrong. So if you ever need an argument, if you ever need to go that road, of wife specifically, that is bad. That is part of the reason is that if you want to procreate, if you want families, if you want people giving birth, it just can't be, I don't know, people just can't be naked all the time. But, you know, at the end of the day, to me, this is kind of trivial because we are talking about a relationship that isn't yours, it's not mine, it's none of ours. We're just talking about this in a perspective that we feel that these people may be negatively influencing other people. But from everybody who's had an opinion here is that pretty much everybody has said, this has not made me happy. We look at this in a negative light, and I would think that would be the majority of Americans. And if they idolize this type of behavior, it's probably someone you don't want to be in a relationship with to begin with. So really, this whole thing to me is pretty inconsequential, like as a whole. Not to like just steamroll the panel, because there is some relevant stuff, and Hollywood does push things. And with Hollywood, you know, you also have PR teams that represent you and try to spin this as, you know, a female empowerment move, you know, but they'll do certain things. I mean, Hollywood, good or bad, has always had people in it within news corporations, within PR departments that push a certain political narrative or agenda, whether that's right-leaning or left-leaning. Left-leaning gets pointed out more, but you'd be surprised. Right-leaning views do get slipped into media. It's just that they're rarely recognized. Because a lot of the times, the social norms that we've had for like hundreds of years, people don't notice it because they're social norms. So when you have like a leftist ideologue that hates the social norms, they're going to think, man, I'm not a fan of this media. Not a fan of this movie. I think it's too normative. You know, you can have that. It goes both ways. I mean, when you're dealing with so many different opinions, so many varying perspectives, it's kind of crazy. And certain things that we feel are normal might not be correct, especially in American culture where it's like everybody is so individualistic. It seems like we are so disconnected from each other, more connected to our cell phones. Like you probably care more about your cell phone than a random stranger on the street. Like you look at that thing every day. A lot of people don't think about that. You spend hours and hours and hours a day on your cell phones. So, you know, it is quite unique. Quite unique when you put it in that perspective, is that we are very individualistic. We are definitely into personal property and possessions and being of status. If we can accumulate wealth, that's very important. And you know, we also have a lot of people who suffer homelessness, and there's certain things that we haven't quite solved. That certain things that some people want to address, other people don't. But you know, it is what it is. But just because something is normal doesn't mean it's necessarily good. And just because something is being pushed doesn't mean it's good either, at the end of the day. But yeah, this whole thing was really weird. Definitely seems like a grab for attention. At the end of the day, we're just laughing about this and giving our perspective because it is kind of stupid.
Yeah, so I would say, and I do appreciate your perspective. So yeah, ultimately, this is just a discussion, a topic, you know, for us to build on. But you used a word that I would disagree with when you said inconsequential. I think it's very much consequential, which is why you see a bunch of people whining, mainly on the right, all over the internet, saying we don't want our kids doing drag shows or attending drag shows. That's consequential. There's the feminization of men. They wouldn't be whining about it. And when you said these companies, when they put this image out, they don't say this is an inconsequential image. Here, let's promote that. They promote things that they believe are consequential to them, you know. So when they're dealing with social conditioning, engineering, and indoctrination, it's not only about them, it's about what they can get others to subscribe to normalize and accept. And if we are accepting this as the norm or the standard, that seems pretty consequential, right? If this was your son, would you say how he coming home from football practice like that? Oh, this is inconsequential, right? Oh, your wife is like this. Oh, this is inconsequential. Now, when we're taking it to celebrities, this is not really the image you want to see. But now there's a bunch of people that are trying to emulate celebrities. That's where the consequences come in. People will see, hey, let me look at this drill rapper and let me try to emulate him. So I think that's where the consequences is, the power of the influence and persuasion.
I need to rebuttal that. I think
go ahead.
There definitely can be influence over people, but at the end of the day, your kids are your kids. You are responsible for what they watch. Who is influencing them? You can say that it's hard to monitor everything that's going on.
So you watched everything that your parents told you? Your parents told you, here, watch this show, and you watched everything that your parents told you?
I lived in a strict household. Yeah, there were certain shows that they monitored, and they told me, hey, you can't watch this.
I don't think that was everyone's lifestyle. I'm pretty sure everyone else on the panel, if they parents had watched
fault
this,
would that be? Would that be the parents, or would that be the media's fault? Because the media is providing a product. Their job is to make money. A parent's job is to raise a child.
So just because their job is to make money, they're absolved of the diabolical things that they're putting in the media?
Well, essentially, there's a lack of understanding, but yes, in a sense, they're just there to make money. And with that understanding, you need to have the awareness and mental filter of maybe they don't have our best interest. I mean, that's for pretty much anywhere you go in life, is that certain people you need to cut out because they may not be a good influence. They don't have your best interest. Part of life is figuring out who to filter out, who you should be around, who you should work with, because certain professionals are definitely unethical. You shouldn't work with them. They may wear a suit, they may smile nice, they may look good, but they're unethical with their practice. You're not going to work with them. Right?
Yeah, but some people don't find out that they're unethical until after they're screwed over.
That's true. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But the reality is that you need to understand that in life, there's snakes everywhere. You have to be prepared. So honestly, I would say shielding a kid that this stuff is going on is definitely not a good thing. They need to be aware of what's going on, or they're going to find out some other way. Growing up, I definitely was really sheltered. Both my parents are ministers. And, I fifth grade was like a wake-up call because I thought most people were Christians. Turned out not everybody was a Christian. So to me, that was just really sad. It was kind of heartbreaking. But it is what it is. I mean, when you're in a bubble constantly and people start to look at what's on the other side, a lot of times what kids will do is they'll see the negative aspects of what they were raised with, and then they kind of want to rebel against it because they don't like the life that they were presented with, and they felt like it made them miserable. That's why you have a lot of young people leaving the church, is you've had a lot of judgmental old people tell them that they don't like their new generation. Back in my day, this is how we did this, and this, and they're constantly, it ends with this loop of older people berating younger people. But I think with what influences you is determined by what you're going to let influence you, so to speak. You need to have morals. You need to be prepared for what's out there. You may not like what's going on. You may not like the societal changes, but it's up to you and it's up to them because they made their decision what type of lifestyle they want to have. Unless, I certain things, like, I don't know, if you're gay, there's biological factors, but
like, is America a morally sound country?
I would say it is. It's about liberty and freedom of choice, and with that,
but you brought up morality. There's going
to be decisions that you aren't going to like that people make, but you're only responsible for your own decisions. You cannot dictate what others do. You cannot dictate the culture. Your job is to adapt to that culture.
Is it really freedom of choice now?
Yeah, because Joe, to go, you talking about morality. Dictate morals. You're trying to dictate morals on someone else. You said that you grew up in a church. When someone is talking about Christian values are morals and standards that a lot of people, namely Christians, expect others to adhere to. So how are you on one hand saying that people are individualistic?
Well, let's not get this messed up. The Bible is not something that God doesn't force you to follow him. He offers you to accept him. So when you have Christians going around getting upset at, the LGBTQ and trans people, harassing them, I don't see those necessarily as good Christians. And the reason why is because Jesus, he went up to the prostitute. He said, "Come and follow me." He didn't go up to the prostitutes and tell them, "Hey, you're going to hell." That's not how he operated. And the only people that he actually got visibly like really mad at in the Bible were his disciples, and also that instance where he turned the tables in the temple, because the temples were asking money for salvation. So to me, it's Jesus was always in check of the people amongst his group. He was not in check of the world, because how he saw it is the ways of the world. He said when he was on the cross, "Forgive them because they don't understand." That's just the way the world is. It's full of sin. And
I have
from
to
that,
disagree with that. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here listening to this. In the schools right now, they're having trans reading hour, and they're forcing trans education on the kids. Now, I don't have anything against trans people or gay people. Hell, I make house music, so I'm always around people that think differently. But to force it on our kids, and also in the schools to say, well, you know what? If you don't accept your kid as a they
Hold on, Mr. Pie Brain. Let him finish his point. Then you can go. Go ahead.
Okay, because I mean, he was going down that road.
Let's unpack that for a second. So the whole thing about that happening in schools, that's not actually happening. Where it's happening is in public libraries. So that means the parents consented to take their children in there. That's still wrong. I don't see that as necessarily right. But still, that's what you're describing is something that was propagated by right-leaning individuals to fearmonger that they're indoctrinating kids into this.
I live in Texas, man. I mean, I know what's propagated and what's really happening.
Well, we're getting into politics, and I'm not sure B-Eazy likes
you took us down that road, though.
Yeah. We did go down that road, and I appreciate for going there. But but at the same time, it wasn't it wasn't bad to go down that road, because standards are not only applicable to like the family relationship dynamics. It's all about society and politics as well. And there is a religious standard. We talked about it, whether people agree with it. The country, they say that America is a Christian nation, so they try to set that as the religious standard, even though there's other people that subscribe to different religions. But I did want to get to the ladies real quick, because I did want to hear what they said, and I'm gonna go straight to Mr. Best, and then Pirate Brain, I'm gonna let you rock out. I just want the ladies to answer this, because we heard the men, but we need to know, when y'all see this, is this something that gets you aroused? Like, if this person was, a high value person, but he just happened to dress like this, would he be able to get your number, take you out to lunch? So go ahead, Princess K, and then Intrepidus. Hey,
great response.
She has to think about it first, right?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Shoot your shot then, Princess K.
No. I will say, I don't like that at all. I actually find it disgusting, because when you walk around like that, to be honest, standing away from you, I think that you stink. Hold
on, Princess K. Let me add this too, because I didn't want to limit it there. So this is just only one fashion statement. This too, do you think that this is exudes masculinity? Any of these imagery, and I'm gonna go to Intrepidus after your answer. Is there a scenario where a man that you find desirable could dress like this, and you're still aroused? Go ahead, Princess K.
Absolutely not. Me, myself in particular, I don't prefer for my men to wear my clothes. I saw the picture of MGK in the crop top. I'm still looking for my crop top because I do have one that looks like that. He stole it. I'm pretty sure he stole it. I don't know how,
Dang,
but
it's crazy.
that's mine. I don't want to share my clothes. I don't know. I think,
Oh boy.
financially speaking, that's not good. First of all, your shoulders are bigger than mine generally. For most, I am tall, but your shoulders are wider, so you're going to stretch out my tops, and then we don't even fit with the bottoms because I have an ass and hips and you don't. So that just doesn't make sense. Second, with the whole sagging sort of thing, what I will say about that, again, on that, oh Jesus. See, there's this issue that I've seen of men or boys wearing this type of outfit, you know, the sagging pants and everything. And it's like a line on the back of your boxers. And it's
Hold
not
on. Are you
made,
talking about a skid mark? Is that
it's
what you're
not
referring
made,
to?
it's not made from the manufacturer. It's a skid mark. And I think that you should know that you're walking around with poop. It's a poop mating call is what I see it as. And I'm
Hold on. When
just,
you say mating call, do you mean like pheromones? Like you're attracted to that or what?
no, I'm not
Okay.
attracted to it, but some people are. I mean, some women like that. I don't understand why. But it's not for me to
Hold
understand.
on.
All I know
Let
is
me
I
tell you,
don't want you
Princess
in my
K.
vicinity.
They see the son like, oh, he got dookie stains just like my son. I can mommy him. But go ahead, finish, Princess K.
You know what? That might be it. But really, though, I don't find that attractive at all. Anybody that I'm involved with in any way, I do consider that just like how I consider I'm a representation of you, you're a representation of me. And I also think about what my family would feel if I brought that person around them. At my grown age, I'm still within my 20s, but I would get slapped upside my head. My mom would probably take me to a psychologist or something like that to check if something happened, like a whole personality switch, or if her child's intelligence just suddenly went down. I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you, Princess K. That was a very thorough answer. And Intrepidus, it's the same for you, you know, twofold, you know. I don't know which area. I think you said you were in Arizona. I don't know if you see this a lot, but if you were to see this, you know, one dude is hitting on you, he looks like this, you bend the corner, then you got him hitting on you, then you got this dude hitting on you. Are any of these things screaming out attractiveness to you or masculinity? Why or why not?
No, they're not attractive to me. Well, first of all,
the nipple shirt.
Hey, Intrepidus, this is
The
a
little-
judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. You don't got a cap, Intrepidus. I mean, if you like the way he's got his hip poked out, it's okay.
No, it's not my thing.
Wow.
The pants low, though, I wanted to address that first, since initially that was the first one you showed. That's just not practical. I want a man that is functional and is not gonna fall down and hurt himself because his clothes are not worn at the correct level. You know, I'm a functional person. I expect to have a functional partner. So your clothes gotta allow you to do shit. But the other ones, I mean, I know that there's some women out there vaguely. I don't personally know them, but vaguely. There's some women out there that are okay with that. It's not my thing. I don't find it attractive for myself. Just like, whatever. And Princess K made a good point of like, don't stretch out my clothes. You know? I thought that was a really good point. Like, yeah, like don't ruin her tops, man. So yeah, it's not my thing.
I'm for sure a lot of prisoners will be okay with it.
Yeah, no, yeah, that is true. I understand. So we're gonna go to Mr. Best. You there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So we've been cooking really heavy tonight, and the topic is standards. How many of us have them? So we went, a few different directions. But some of the things we were talking about is this a wifely standard? And even if you're not a wife, is this a standard for your daughter to go out with her boyfriend? Is this a standard for your sisters to walk out the house? Is this a standard for men, for yourself, for your son? Is this an acceptable standard? So there's many ways that you can go with it. And of course, the standards are subjective, but there are some things known as universal standards. And whether people like it and makes them uncomfortable or not, when you think of a Miss America pageant, there's a certain body weight, physique standard that people find acceptable. It doesn't mean that obese people are not beautiful, but there's just a certain standard that's acceptable. If you're playing sports, there's a speed, agility, athleticism standard that you need to adhere to, meet or exceed to just cut mustard. You know what I mean? So when we talk about standards, there's many avenues you can go. So I don't know how much of the conversation you've heard, so you can just kind of pick it up from there.
I don't really care about nobody else's opinion. I have my own. Y'all know how I am. I give you what I feel. I don't give a fuck what nobody else think. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I stand. No hate or no shots at anyone. But you know what I mean? I'm gonna just tell you what I think. I think as far as like standards, yes, there are standards that you need to have when it comes to the corporate world, right? You move into certain standards in the corporate world, they're going to tell you to dress a certain way. Salute to Tiffany. You know what I mean? They're going to tell you to move a certain way. And you know what I'm saying? Like they're going to tell you to dress a certain way, have a certain type of decorum. We all know this. If you're in certain corporate fields or certain places, there's a code of regulation, there's a code of conduct, there's a code of how you dress. You know what I mean? They let you know that before you move in some of these spaces and places. But even that's starting to change in the corporate world. In the corporate world, they're more, it's more kind of lax depending on, where you work and who you work for. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And I would say this, as far as like wifely standards or what people may find attractive or whatever, that shit is subjective. That shit is a fucking, that's a multi-layered, rainbowish, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so many layers to it because it's freedom. We got freedom. That's the thing, right? We said we want freedom. So now you got freedom, and it's what freedom brings. Freedom basically says I can wear and do whatever the fuck I want, and you can't tell me what to do. And you know what? That's what happens. You know what I mean? That's what freedom allows. You know what I mean? So y'all people want old school standards, then you got to get rid of some of the freedoms. So then that means we got to vote on getting rid of some of the freedoms. But then that means if we remove some of the freedoms, then there's other freedoms that's gonna be judged as well, right? Because there's gonna be other people that's like, all right, well, if we're gonna take that away, then guess what? We need to take voting away for these people. We need to take these rights away for these people. So then it's gonna be a pick and straw contest. I just say let people do what the fuck they want, leave them alone. If they're not fucking with what you're trying to do, then let them be. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna argue with somebody who has different views than me or want to dress different than me, even if it's a family member. Like, if you want to do your own thing, do your own thing. I can't stop you. You know what I'm saying? This country allows you to do that. You know what I mean? You had basketball players back 20 years ago, like Dennis Rodman, wearing wedding dresses. He was still allowed to go on the court in the NBA, compete for championships, catch 20 rebounds, busting people's ass like Karl Malone, and win the championships. And ain't nobody stopped that man. Anybody tell him you can't go on the basketball court because you wear a wedding dress? You can't go on the basketball court because you got red hair. He was still able to do what he want to do. Why? Because that's the land we live in. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all want some standards or universal standards, based on, I guess, what, Christianity or Islamic ways or whatever you believe, you know what I'm saying, then we're going to have to take away freedoms. And then we start taking away freedoms, then that's going to be a whole shit show, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Just let people be, man. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Whoever you fuck with, gonna fuck with you. Whoever got the same standards as you, they're gonna be on the same board. If not, if they're not on the same board, then let them be. And sometimes somebody having different standards than you can learn something from them. You can learn a lot from them if you allow yourself to. That don't mean you got to change what you believe. You still stick to your guns. You know what I mean? But understand, since we have freedom, this is what's out here now. You know what I mean? Land of the free, home of the brave. That's just what it is, y'all. Understand that. That's all I got to say.
Go ahead, Joe, to go.
Yeah, I wanted to circle back because I did kind of get cut off, but I definitely agreed with what Mr. Best had to say in the world, or Mr. Best had to say. But yeah, I just want to elaborate with what I was saying is essentially the corporate world often does not care about ethics. It's about what makes money, what lines their pockets. So we need to be mindful of that. The other thing is that when you're getting with a woman or, you know, a partner, you need to vet them to make sure that you have the same fundamental beliefs and value system. Like if you, like one thing I'm definitely going to ask someone if I start dating is, do you think a kid could transition to a different sex? Because I definitely don't think that anyone under 18 should be able to do that. But however, you know, if they're a grown adult with, you know, how the United States works and the Constitution and, you know, just having a functional society, I think it's important that we do not impose certain beliefs onto others if they do not harm other people. You know, if you're not committing any physical harm to another, then, you know, I think it's less of an issue. And I definitely have certain beliefs around like drugs and certain things. I think they should be legal, but you know, doing drugs is definitely unethical, not healthy, not good for you. But that's just how I kind of operate. And, you know, as a Christian, I do hold a lot of values and I do keep myself in check. And I do tell people and tell friends that I think you're going down the wrong path if, you know, I see something and I think that they're doing something that could be harmful to them or somebody else. So.
Hey, so let me just ask you this. When you said you usually tell people, and I'm going to go right to Mr. Bryant after that. When you said you tell people that they're going down the wrong path, is it the wrong path based on whose standards? Yours?
Yeah, that's the thing is that we're all human. So we're all technically able to be wrong, right? And that's where disagreements come into play a lot of the times, because certain people can have like the right intentions in mind, but it can come across the wrong way, or you can make errors in the process. So it's definitely, humans are very complex. And that's how a lot of fallouts with friends happen, is that someone had the right intentions, but the message wasn't going through. So.
B-Eazy, I just got a quick comment, and I'm real quick, right? Now, I have different family members that had different things going on. Like last year, it was like last summer, a whole bunch of crazy stuff was going on. I tried to get involved. I tried to be helpful. They told me, mind your business, shut the fuck up, get the fuck out of our face. That's what they told me, literally, right? And I'm trying to be a family member and be loving and be all this, and they didn't care about none of that. We do what we want. I don't care if you're older. I'm doing what I want. I'm adult now. You know what I mean? I'm being told by 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, barely getting into adulthood telling me this shit. But this is the world we live in. Mr. Bryant, go ahead.
Yes. Well, listen, you know, I kind of feel the same way that I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah. Well, Joe to go made a good point. You know what I'm saying? And speaking from the standpoint of a Christian, which, you know, I'm really not ashamed to say it because, you know, everyone expresses themselves. Now, like I said earlier, I don't push the narrative on you. I just try to live the life and be an example. Because when it all boils down to it, you're going to do exactly what you want to do. I have absolutely no charge or control over how you govern your life. But at the same time, If I know that there's a ditch there and that there's something that you can possibly harm yourself, I may give you some good advice and say, hey, make a right, then turn left. Because if you go down this road, you're going to fall into a tremendous ditch. Now, that's up to the individual to take that heed to that type of admonition or warning. You see what I'm saying? So, but when it boils down to it, I have to live my life the way I should live it before God. Before I try to tell Joe to go something, or B-Eazy Dat Dude something, or Mr. Best in the World something, or Big Rig Slaps, you see, and these beautiful sisters that are on the panel, I have to look in the mirror and make sure that I'm in line with what God has designed for me to do and how he wants me to go about doing it. Now along the way, definitely, yes, I may give some advice, and that's all it is. It's loving advice. You see what I'm saying? There's a way that seems right to a man, but the end is destruction. See what I'm saying? But it seems right, and there's a road that leads to destruction also. And that road is very broad and wide. You see what I'm saying? Very broad and wide. Many people follow it, right? Because that's where the majority is going. But see, there's a way. See what I'm saying? It's straight and narrow. And see, that leads to eternal life and success, or however you want to view it or call it. So, when we're talking about these topics and about the different characters that we see in the media, okay, I get it. Hey, if you're going to show your ass to God and everybody else, hey, I have a right to say something about it. Although you have the right to do what you want to do, don't get upset now when I have something to say about it. See, I'm upset and I'm offended. You see what I'm saying? And you should be ashamed of yourself. Cover up yourself. You are representing your husband and you are representing your children. Young men, come on, pull the pants up. Now I'm speaking from a person that is in his 60s, so I don't have all the swag and all this new stuff that the young people have. But what I do hold on to is some standards and morals and statutes that have been since the beginning of time. And so that's where I come from. But hey, does that mean I'm trying to judge you? Does that mean I can't sit down at table and have dinner with you? Does that mean that I can't have conversation with you? Yes, of course I can. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you're so expressful about your behavior, then you should have no problem when I make a comment about it.
That's the beauty of America too. We all have the right to say what we want to say. But be easy. I'm gonna head out here soon. So
cool. Go ahead and give your closing remarks, Joe.
Oh, I just what a wild night. It's a crazy situation, but man, that was fun. You definitely pulled the rug out from under us. We're reading the title, we're thinking this has nothing to do with the title. What? And then you reel it in with the point. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, see, that's how you got to do it, man. Got to be mysterious, and intriguing. You feel me? Just like
man, I feel like you trolled the whole panel tonight. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it was good. All right, you all take care. I had a really good time. Later, guys.
Peace out, Joe.
Later, Joe.
Well, if I could just say this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oftentimes it's a little difficult to get on these panels and speak your opinion because oftentimes you're up against a lot of opposition. People feel because you're expressing yourself, and they don't necessarily agree with your perspectives or your viewpoints. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Sometimes it seems like they take it personal or they don't allow you the same space that they want to be allowed. And so I find problem with that. It's like, hey, by all means, express yourself, but don't cuss me out and don't nail me to the cross because I'm expressing myself as well. Now, you may not agree with where I'm coming from, and I may not agree with some of your perspectives. But as men, I believe that we should learn how to agree to disagree. You see what I'm saying? There's
Mr.
no
Bryant.
Exactly.
Mr. Bryant, I'll say this because, me and you have, we've run up against a lot of the same situations. I'm going to say this, Mr. Bryant, right?
That's true. That's
Most
true.
of these people that would want to demand all this stuff, they're not going to help you with anything in social media. They're not going to try to help you build anything, as far as having a platform or even helping your platform. They're going to try to tell you what to do, how to feel, how to be, and they have no accountability. And I'm going to speak to this. For y'all to have no accountability, please stop trying to tell me and my team what to do on my network. With our network, please stop telling us that. Like, you have no accountability, so we don't hear you. Stop watching our show. Stop leaving your little stupid comments. Like, we don't really care about you. Like, really. Like, please just go under the rock that you came from. Nobody cares about what you feel. Nobody cares about what you think. And most people are creeped out by you. I'm just being honest. You know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Wow. They want to control everything that you do. And then when you say, hey, brother, like, hey, didn't you do this and do that? Then they want to curse you out and start calling your names and all types of stuff. It's crazy.
Man, listen, I just got cursed out tonight. I was in the chat, and I was doing what everyone else was doing and making comments, But for some reason, I guess mine was brought to the forefront, and I royally got cursed out, And people have a tendency to really show you who they are, And thank God it wasn't someone that I had ties with, because my feelings are definitely not hurt. It's just you showed me who I already knew you were. You see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man,
Mr. Bryant, please hit me up about this tomorrow. Please hit me about this tomorrow.
I'll talk to you about it. But the point is, and I was called outside my name and everything, I believe they were calling
Mr. Bryant, don't let me find out you starting YouTube beef.
No. Hey, no, I'm not. I'm just simply doing what everyone else in the chat was doing. I wasn't even on the panel. You see what I'm saying? I'm even a moderator for this individual. You see what I'm saying? But out of all of the disparaging comments that went forth before mine, didn't call none of those people out.
Well, Mr. Bryant, let me do this for you. How could you tie that into standards, right? Because of course, everybody wants to do their own thing, be their own individual, but should, in your belief, this is just everyone's individual belief, since that's what we're talking about, do you believe there should be more standards when it comes to YouTube, social media sites, when it comes to decorum, or should it just be a free-for-all where anyone can say anything? Someone can disrespect Mr. Bryant and your wife because there's no standards. What's your belief or position on that?
Yeah, no.
Wait, guys, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, right? Let me just say one little thing, and I'm about to head on out real quick. I only came up, right, because honestly, bro, like, to hear that someone's disrespecting, and no offense if I'm saying this, Mr. Brian, but to somebody who's disrespecting an elder or someone in a mature level that comes in peace, honestly, like, that shit really, like, bothers me. You know what I mean? So let me say this message out to whoever that individual is, okay? If you're a young dude and you have a mouth like that, go fuck yourself, all right? Point blank, period. I don't give a fuck who you are, okay? Any problem, and I hope to God that I find out who this person is, okay? But
we're gonna find out tomorrow. We're gonna find out for sure.
Rest assured, Mr. Brian,
you are protected. In the back chat too. You put in the back chat.
Very, very, very popular young man.
Yeah, he's gonna be popular with something else though.
But look, see, here's the thing though. When you have a channel and you invite people to share their express their opinions, I don't think you should take it to the point to where you're disrespectful and cursing at a person and cursing them out. I believe that you should agree to disagree. You see what I'm saying? Because I've never literally has never called this person out of their name, not one time. You see what I'm saying? But thank God that I don't have any type of deep ties as far as friendship wise is concerned, because then my feelings would be hurt. You see what I'm saying? But I know this person really generally doesn't really have that type of love for me. So I get it. But the disrespect, though, that's the part that I'm talking about. You go to disrespecting people because they tell you what the truth is. You know, now if I called you out of your name, or if I told you a lie, then I could understand you doing that or taking that type of a route. But I become your enemy because I'm telling you the absolute truth. You know, and so yeah, man. You know, I'm learning about these spaces. You know, I try to walk as gingerly as I can because I already know that I'm up against opposition. Just having the perspective that I have, and everybody doesn't have to agree with me. I get it. I don't agree with everyone. I may not agree all the time with B-Eazy, but at the same time, I got love for that brother, and I have respect for him. So it's okay for me to say, well, you know what, B-Eazy, I don't know if I agree with you on that one, Chief. See what I'm saying? There's no love lost. There's no disrespect. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, no, I respect that. Princess K, you still there?
I'm here.
Cool. I want to ask you kind of the same question because pretty much everyone in this panel, whether they've been directly involved, they've experienced or know someone who's experienced this type of social media, YouTube. I think it's on every platform, Facebook, Clubhouse, Twitter. Most of these platforms, some people somehow seem to find the drama. Do you think people should adhere to certain moral standards on these apps, or is, hey, it's virtual reality, I could talk about your mama, your daughter, none of that matters? What's your position on that when it comes to the standards and decorum, how people carry themselves on these social media platforms?
I would, in a perfect world, like for people to move with integrity, because a lot of the things that people are talking about and saying on social media is stuff that they usually would not say in front of anybody else in real life, because you know the consequences would be direct and instant. You might say something out the side of your mouth to somebody on the streets and you end up murked or beaten up. So I can't tell anybody how they should act, really. At its base, simply, I really just want to make sure that I'm not saying anything that could be a negative influence on my family or anybody connected to me. I really just want to come in peace and love. I hate to sound like a hippie girl or whatnot, but really, I want to come in peace and love. I was made for a purpose, and I intend to live my life as a vessel for God. And then that's also another thing, because I was raised under a Kojic background, and then I became interdenominational. And so many of my morals and values are not the same as the average person. And I understand that. I also understand that, you know, what I choose to do may not be right for somebody else. You know, at the end of the day, though, I really just want to be a positive influence in love. There's enough going on in this world with people that are murking themselves, and people who are really just miserable and unhappy. Unfortunately, you get a lot of those same people on social media because they have a platform. So that's all I got to say about that.
Cool. Thanks for that answer. I want to come to Intrepidus since she was back, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to Scam Likely. Looks like we were joined. I actually want to kind of ask you two parts, because since we're talking about standards and there's different aspects that we can go, it really was like three, because I seen in the chat you were talking about that you were in some sort of echo chamber, or you were trying to get out of an echo chamber? What was the comment you made, Intrepidus?
Well, there's someone else on the panel here at a different day that was talking about how we tend to be in an echo chamber, like just generalizing here in the US. And I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, that's true. And I was actually telling my housemate earlier this evening, like, that's what I like about these guys is that they're having an open dialogue. So, I think that it's healthy to learn how to disagree respectfully, right? What was your other question?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, so that was clarifying. So the other question was, I don't know how much you've been in the social media, YouTube type spaces, but just like I asked Mr. Bryant and Princess K, in your belief, do you think there are a set of standards, like a set of moral standards that people should adhere to on social media when they're how they conduct themselves and how they engage with other people? Because some people, they like to dox people and talk about your wife, your mother, people that are deceased in your family. Some people are very harassing. What is your position on that? Of course, there are already like terms of service, which is a form of standards, but I'm just asking, based on your position morally, should people individually hold themselves to a set of standards that's better than what you see now? Or is everything that you see now just all fine and flowers? Go ahead.
Absolutely. My son's school actually does a online citizenship training for all the young children, and I'm assuming older as well, but I think it's important for it to be started young, where they talk about online etiquette, how to handle trolls, how to be safe. Because the social media stuff is kind of wild. I personally don't use most of it anymore. I use YouTube for music mainly. And just to just have my vibes, but I don't use Facebook anymore. I took a couple of looks at Twitter and went, never mind. Same for a lot of them. A lot of them are really toxic. Maybe in the beginning, Facebook was kind of fun. That was my interpretation, but I think over time it became clear that, yeah, maybe it's not that fun. Maybe you're just kind of like coming away from that with a lot of like real negative ideas that may or may not be true, and just a lot of people arguing, but they're not getting anywhere, right? But that's why I like what you guys are doing here is we're having open dialogue, we're agreeing to disagree if necessary, asking questions, and I think that we need to do more of that in general as a whole in the U.S.
Yeah, I agree with that, because most of these panels, people are going on there to argue and, bicker and kind of be belly aching, and most people are going to be in a debate or a pseudo debate, but it's better to just have a discussion and a dialogue, because if you want to do a debate, debates are done typically with certain standards, certain structure. So you have a certain time to respond, they have a certain time to respond, there's time allocated, there's judging, right? When you do a debate, it's to win. If we're having a discussion, I'm not trying to win a discussion with you. We're both giving our perspectives and point of views, and too many people are on here trying to win debates that no one even asked to be in. And even if you did win a debate, like, what do you get from here? YouTube is not giving anyone awards for how many debates you won on here. Who is keeping track? If you got time to debate with that many people for free on YouTube, man, what is your life really amounted to? But I had one more question for Intrepidus, but I'll come back to you on that. Scam Likely, you still here?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. How much of the show have you been paying attention to?
That's came on let's listen about 15, 20 minutes.
15 minutes? Okay, cool. So it's pretty much the topic is standards, and it says how many of us have them. It's multiple ways that you could apply the standards. You know, there's many aspects of it when it comes to relationships, dynamics. Earlier we were talking about is, you know, of course this is subjective, but is this a wifely standard, or how you would want your daughter to dress? Is this a standard? Is this how you dress? Is this a standard of masculinity? So when it comes to standards, how many of us have them? Are standards fluid since they are subjective? Should there be universal standards, or should it just be individual, where I can't tell him that this is not a standard of masculinity because everything is just fluid? I can't really tell them that this is not a standard of style because everything is fluid. What is your position on standards, and how many of us have them? And you can just take it any direction that you want to go based on the imagery I've shown and what you've heard thus far.
First opinion is people go on the internet and go find either the worst case scenario, or they go find a celebrity that they're never going to meet, and they go throw it out there and say, oh, look what the people are doing. Look at this here. And the truth is, if you walk outside and go to the grocery store, you'll see regular people. Maybe you'll see one or two people out of line. Or depending on your neighborhood, you might see 4 or 5. But they throw it out there like this is what the people are doing. And it's not reality to the point where you can't go outside no more because of this. Like, it's a form of fear mongering. Oh, look at these people. Oh man, they're doing this. Most people got regular lives. As far as the standard, people can do what they want to do. If they want to be victims, if they want to look crazy, they're showing you who they are. They're crazy. So might as well wear a crazy uniform. And now you know who they are, or at least what they look like, or something formative. But we are individuals, and we do, and there is no actual form of code of conduct that really makes any sense anyway, except maybe the law, and that just is what it is. I think people should more focus on the mirror and say, hey, I'm going to be the best individual I can, and I'm going to control the best of the environment that I'm around. Other people, they can do what they're going to do what they want to do anyway. So let's just move in the world and try to win. As far as YouTube, YouTube is an entertainment platform, and people are people. It's not like people are going and voluntarily looking to better themselves and then coming to a panel, wigs.com, and then looking to try to find out women, looking for natural women to teach a standard to no. If you go on a dust panel, expect to find dust. That's what they're for. So I hate women.com, expect it to be me yelling at the women all night. Marriage is the greatest. It should be. People really promote marriage, but you know, it's a lot of pandering and rigged whatever. And the talking point mafia stuffing stuff down people's throats for super chat. But I mean, it is what it is. It's the world you live in. There's scams, there's entertainment, and there's trolls. I actually am the head of the Trolluminati myself. I calm down a lot, but like getting off here and rotisserie people. I do it in good faith. I ain't got no personal thing against nobody on YouTube, but it's entertainment. I happen to be an entertainer. I don't go target on people's wives and kids, and that's why your dad got hit by a truck for you. It's not that serious. Just know. But I just expect people to be what they are, and people to act like what they are. So you can't necessarily say everybody got to be like that. That's the point. What's the point of the conversation? Everybody will be twins agreeing with each other, and everybody's following everything. So what's there to talk about? Everybody be rich, everybody be married, and everything will be a perfect world. But there's reality. That's all I got.
Cool. Thanks, Cam Likely. And Big Rig, I'm gonna come right to you just so you can you can do your closing remarks. But Scam Likely, I want to ask you, I don't know if you do have kids. I don't really need to get that personal. Whether you do or not, then I just want to pose a hypothetical for you, because this is what some people are saying, because I do agree, right? Ultimately, I can't enforce what someone is wearing. You know what I mean? If somebody wants to dress like that, then they could dress like that. But there is arguments that a lot of people are saying that, hey, don't teach my kid this. I don't want my kid attending drag shows, or if the teachers are learning about gender studies, diversity, all this stuff. Ultimately, what would be your recourse? Would you like take the kids out of school? Would you just tell them, hey, this is the standard? Like, what would you say? Would you just say, hey, any of this stuff, you can be fluid? Like, would you try to deter your kids or any kids that you're mentoring away from any of this stuff?
I'll explain it. 'Cause I actually did teach fourth grade for a year. I was an education major. There's fear mongering that they're throwing on the media to where act like the kid just walks into the school and everybody's wearing a dress and they say, hey, come here, Johnny. And there's 5 trans men holding hands teaching bondage, and they act like that's how this is, and it's not. There's so many problems in school systems that they're focusing on little stuff and making it into something big. They need to be worried about, why is it 10 years ago when I was a teacher, 11, 12 years ago, why is it an elementary school where you can't give them a lower grade than a 60 and all they have to do is get to a 70 to pass? Meaning they ain't learning nothing. And just giving them a 70 is a C. Meaning they really got to do 25% of the work just to get a C. Like, that's a bigger problem than worrying about a trans man teaching them something. And you have the ability at home to educate them on the alphabet community. And they are out there, you're gonna see them. So you might as well have them prepared to let them know that this is in the world at whatever level that you can. But it's not like they kidnap them, take them in a closet and say, hey, you're gonna learn this, you're gonna learn it now, and you're gonna have to practice all this extra stuff. Let's think of some fear monger into it. But I'll leave it at that. Yeah, that's all I got.
Wow. Okay, so what are we doing? Are we giving closing remarks now, or what are we doing? I know it looks like B-Eazy
I don't know, they dropped off.
Yeah, just for a second, but I'm pretty sure that we could continue the conversation. And those are your closing remarks, right, Scam?
I guess. I don't know. That just came on.
Did you have more to say?
Well, I guess I can close. Well, you can go first. I can close after the next person, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a guest.
Based upon what B-Eazy was talking about, Princess K. Nice to be on the panel with you, by the way, my sister.
Nice to be on the panel with you again. It's been a while.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So,
my bad. I had some technical difficulties.
Oh, we were trying to hold it down until you came back, brother.
Oh yeah. Y'all did a great job of that. But yeah, I think we was gonna get close to shutting it down, because I know we are getting late here. But Intrepid is.
I don't know. You went out again, bro.
Maybe she had to dip. All right, cool. We'll start with Scam Likely. Scam Likely, we about to shut it down, brother. Thanks for coming up and dropping the gems that you did. If you want to go ahead and shout out your channel, your organization, and give us some closing remarks. based on anything that has to do with standards, wherever you want to take it.
Cool. I'm Scam Likely. I can be found in the Dustosphere. On Black Man Unfiltered Network.
You the king of the Dusties, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm the king of the trolls.
Okay. My bad. I want to get your title right.
Yeah. I'm the head of the Troll Illuminati, the Trolling 60s. Here's the deal. People are miserable. They need to laugh. But I'm not really a supporter of all the victim stuff and the crying and whining and yelling and the what about the men? What about the women? And no. But YouTube is an unregulated space, and people are trying to bring their own personal regulations based on their personal opinions and feelings, and it won't work. Now, I believe for safety reasons, stuff, the doxing and going, the extra, that's kind of unnecessary. But it is unregulated. The best regulation there is if you're in somewhere you ain't supposed to be and people saying what they ain't supposed to be saying, hit the red X and leave studio and don't go back to the panel.
Self-regulation.
But you can't necessarily go on a dust panel and complain about why they're dusty. All you can do is troll them. Or go to Nation of Wigwam headquarters and complain about they're all flapping wigs or whatever. That's what they do. It's the Nation of Wigwam.
Wow.
But as far as the stand, and most people ain't meeting the regular standards just in general life. People are fat. I mean, they failed the fitness test. That means they get their ass stomped out 3 times, breakfast, lunch, and dinner daily. Most people are broke. They failed the financial standards. People are negative. They failed the mental health standards. I could keep going on. They don't know how to talk to each other. They failed the communication and listening test. But then they're coming to tell everybody what they need to be doing and how they need to do it. Just no. And then I gotta troll them. That ain't fair. Like, come on. People just do better, or just get roasted. One of the two. That's all I got.
Shout out to Scam Likely or Scam Likely, but Troll Certainly. So shout out to the leader of the Trollosphere, the man of many names. Excuse me, let me get it right. The leader of the Trolling 60s and a pioneer in the Dustosphere. How about that?
That is correct, sir. You're on point.
Okay. Thank you, bro. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down so we can go ahead and get up out of here. But I'll definitely check you out. Go subscribe to Scam Likely. You will see him trolling in the streets. And like he said, why so serious? If you ain't laughing, you ain't living. So salute to the brother, Scam Likely. So who else we got? Intrepidus, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I know she said she was here, but I don't know if she still is. Well, I'm gonna go to Princess K then. Princess K, you here?
Intrepidus is here. She just talked.
Oh, Intrepidus, what's up? My bad, I didn't hear you. Was
you
here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry, my mic can be low.
I don't know. Maybe I can't hear her because I'm not.
I hear her loud and clear.
Oh wow, that's weird. I can hear
I can hear her too as well.
Okay, cool.
I see you, Intrepidus.
Okay, cool. Okay, now what it was, now you lit up the screen. Now I can see and hear you. I actually want to ask you because I see that you have and I want to ask you this question and then you can give your closing remarks after that. So I see that you have a bunch of lovely, stylish, creative tattoos, Intrepidus. And do you think that people should stop viewing that as a negative standard because tattoos are considered unprofessional, right? But let's just say I was the best heart surgeon in the world. Are you going to say no? Could you get someone that doesn't have tattoos to perform the surgery, right? If I'm a great customer service specialist person, are my tattoos really going to affect the customer service, but it's seen as something that's unprofessional and, doesn't meet professional standards. So could you speak on that? Like, do you think there should be a shift in thinking, and would people stop associating professionalism with tattoos and maybe a certain colored hair? People have green hair, pink hair, etc. Or do you think professionalism standards should be fluid as well?
I mean, it would be nice if they were more fluid, but I'm not real attached to that particular debate because I got my tattoos with the mind frame that I'm not made for certain professional spaces. I do trades work and I do independent contracting work that involves botanicals and selling online. So, I mean, I was making those decisions with that in mind. When I'm in a situation where I feel like my tattoos might negatively affect me, I cover them. And sometimes I think about it like, well, this kind of sucks. People think I'm going to kick their ass or that I'm an addict or something just because I have some tattoos that are very,
they say all sorts of stuff. Are you a biker? Are you, a lesbian?
Yeah, and they're just, one is for my kids and one is like Game of Thrones twist on Tree of Life, which was like a personal tattoo.
Oh, hold on. Are you what? House Targaryen? Stark? What?
Well, that was the tattoo artist's idea. Whoa, this one. I just wanted a Tree of Life with some other stuff on it. And he was like, but can I also? And I was like, sure, go for it. And I just wanted it in a place where I could see what I paid for. If I have it on my back, I can't see it and enjoy it. Maybe I should have put it on my leg. I don't know. But I definitely see a difference in some people. When I was doing service calls as an alarm technician who were very uncomfortable.
Yeah, when you have to go into people's house, they do judge and stereotype you based off of the tattoos. And I notice some people, they could pass and they say, oh, you look like a tattoo artist. But others, they typically apply some negative connotation to it. Are you a gang member? Are you a biker? Are you a lesbian? Are you a stripper? Are you a prostitute? Typically things that you say, no, I don't do any of that stuff. But just because of a tattoo, and that's the only reason why I was
asking. They're not gang tattoos. Anybody who's knows anything about gangs knows that, right? But you're right. The people who don't know,
correct,
sometimes wonder. But I don't know. Like I said, I got them with certain things in my mind, feeling like, okay, this isn't going to inhibit me and what my goals are personally. So, I wouldn't personally say I need a different surgeon because they have tattoos, but obviously I'm biased. I know it doesn't.
And on the
make
flip
somebody...
side, others are biased against tattoos.
Yeah.
Even if you think about politics, right? Let's say that there's a mayor's ball or a senator's dinner, and you come to there and you're wearing a very nice dress and it shows your arms, and then you're the only one tatted in there. You see a bunch of married politician, affluent people, even though you're comfortable in your own skin, like, hey, your tattoos are dope, I love my tattoos. But what are other people going to look and think about you? And some people say, hey, I don't care what others think. But when you're in certain positions of prominence and class, even if you don't care, it does make you uncomfortable. And some people are mad that, hey, I even gotta hold my tongue. If I was outside of this place, they wouldn't even step to me like that. But they know that, hey, you're in here amongst civilized people, is what they would like to say. you can't act the way whatever your tattoos, whatever the stereotype your tattoos portray, you know. So the only reason why I was bringing that up, because it's not only professionalism standards, people will discriminate in relationship standards too, and say, hey, she has X amount of tattoos, is she super rebellious? If she's that rebellious, then maybe she won't be cooperative or submissive. So you know, is she a lesbian? She seems like she likes girls. Is she gonna cheat on me with another girl? I'm not saying any of these stereotypes are always accurate.
Well, I am rebellious, so it works out. That would be an accurate assessment.
And that's what I was going to say. There is some validity to them, but it's not just a broad blanket, one size fits all generalization. You know what I mean? So I did just want to touch on that. So you can just finish your final statement on that, and then just give a closing remark based on everything that we've discussed tonight. However you want to summarize it.
Real quick, Lady Intrepidus, can you leave your I think I am friends with you on IG, but M3 isn't. And I forgot what your IG is. I just know that we're connected on IG. Can you leave your IG in a private chat, so I can know what it is, so I can reach out to you?
Yeah, I don't use it.
She left her email in there.
I left my email and my Discord tag, but
Okay,
I don't really use IG. I don't use Snap. I don't use TikTok.
Do you use Discord?
Yeah, daily.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
So
probably
if
the Discord.
you hit me up in Discord,
I would download the Discord.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, if you can leave your email back there, that'll be cool. And then leave your email. You can know what times that we're on and times that we're going live.
Yeah, my email's up there, but I can put it again.
Okay.
And then as far as the standards, I wish we had time to go into other different kinds of standards, but maybe on a different
we can
collaboration.
Yeah, we can do a continuation of this one, but you'll be able to finish your complete thoughts. So whatever you got to say tonight, go ahead.
Cool. Just Joe to go brought up parenting, and I was like, oh, I have so many parenting things. Because I used to be into some of the gentle parenting, and I am still into maybe like cherry picking some of it, but I'm a pretty strict parent, and my children behave better, and I really actually do the work to regulate what they're watching, at least when they're with me. And, I just, because your children are at school, if you're not homeschooling, they're at school, they're being influenced by everybody there for a large number of hours. So it's important that when they're home, that you have as much impact as you can there. And I'm also a bringer of fun times, so it's not all, hey, you can't do this, can't do that. I'm still like, go play your Switch, it's fine. But do I monitor that stuff? Yeah, I do. And I limit the screen time too. So that's it. But maybe we can have a parenting one. I don't know.
I was going to say that parental standards. I like that. Yeah, I definitely would do that. And Intrepidus, it looks like I'm on Discord too, so I'll hit you up on Discord. I need to be on there more. I'm in a bunch of groups, and people be sending me messages, and they're like, "Bro, I sent you a message," but yeah, I got to get on that, because Discord is actually a pretty dope app. I think it's a useful tool to be used. So maybe if you know how to use it, maybe you can show me how to use it a little bit more, because I'll be seeing all this nitro and extra stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not paying for any of that stuff. Do you pay for anything on Discord?
Me personally, no.
Okay,
and
good.
I've sold stuff on there, like in different groups. I've just been like, here's my kava I imported from Fiji. Let me tell you about it. And some of the people are like, sure, send some my way. you know, so I've actually made sales on there.
Yeah, absolutely. People do rooms. I've met a lot of producers. They've sent me beats and stuff, and had chat rooms like, "Hey, come up and spit a freestyle." And so it is a good marketing tool and a way to communicate and get resources out there. So thanks a lot.
I actually just recently got a business plan template and business plan samples off a Twitch streamer. And she just gave me the stuff and was like, here you go. You want to make a business plan? Here's the basics for you. And I'm like, thank you. You saved me so much Googling, So yeah, you can network that way.
Cool, exactly. And that's really what we got to do, because your network is your net worth. So if you're not networking, then you are basically, it's a dereliction of duty. So Intrepidus will definitely be in touch with you. Thank you so much for coming up and giving your insight. And was that your housemate or your family member that came and dropped a comment too?
Yeah, my housemate.
Okay,
so that's my friend's mom.
Shout out to your housemate too for contributing to the
Thank
stream.
you.
And especially you, because it was a super late start tonight. Literally, I came in the house, and within 10 minutes of coming in the house, I just hopped on here. So it's like, wow. I literally was out all day, but we do this so that we all can network, participate, contribute, have some fun, but also be enlightened at the same time. So I'm gonna drop you down and send you to Chatland. And we're going to go around and we're going to be shutting it down soon. Thank you so much, Intrepidus.
I just want to say hello real quick to my sister, Princess K. Hey, Princess K. You know what I mean? Queen says hello.
Hey.
Family says hello. You know what I'm
saying?
Hey.
So, Princess K, that was your cue to go. So go ahead and just rock out. You have definitely given some valuable insight tonight. So based on everything that you heard, however you want to summarize it, whatever direction you want to take it, go ahead and give your closing remarks, man.
Hey, be easy. I'll meet you tomorrow, bro. I'll meet you tomorrow. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Hit me early, bro. Like I don't know if you up at like 8:30 or 9. That would be a great time.
Yeah, I gotta be up that time anyway, so
right,
I'll try to do that time. If not, I'll hit you like around like 3 or 4.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect. Princess K,
go I'm out. Later, y'all.
Oh, hold on, Mr. Best.
Oh, what's up?
Just do a proper closing remark then, and then I'll just have you do it, and then I'll go to Princess K. So just give
Let Princess K go. I'll chill out for a minute. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Princess K.
I don't have much to say, but in spite of everything in our comments about what we thought about other people, I just want to tell everybody that I think that you're beautiful. I think that you're amazing. I think that there's a reason why you're here on this earth. I think that you have a purpose, and I would be very upset if anybody wanted to take you from this world, or yourself included. I just hope that everybody here would take everything that they listen to and apply it in a positive way. Anything that they learn, teach it to another person. Me and Mr. Vaughn over here have been talking about how much we love God, but there's so many other things that you can do as well beyond that, just by being a good person. And I just want to bring that to everybody else. Be a good person. Be mindful that, the person that you're talking to might be contemplating suicide. And you could very well be the last person to talk to them. Do you want the last words that they hear from you to be a positive or a negative? Just go about your life. Try to be peaceful. Hold on to your joy. Be mindful of who you are. And that's the important part. More than anything, standards and all of that. Standards don't mean anything if you don't know who you are. And if you don't consistently walk within yourself and remember who you are and the reason why you do what you do. That's all I have to say. I love you all.
We definitely love you, Princess K.
Yeah,
I know you've been
beautiful.
ghost on the social media, but whichever one you active on, hit us up. I know I got you on IG and like Clubhouse, but I ain't been on Clubhouse in a while, and I ain't seen you on IG. So whenever,
I haven't even been on. I don't even remember my codes to get in there. You
yeah,
have my number though. B-Eazy.
oh, that you right.
That one
I do.
time, that
That
person who put us all in a group chat, we didn't ask for it. But anyways,
I know, right? Yeah, when they kind of doxed everybody. That's right.
right,
So shout
Oh
out to
wow.
that person because they did inadvertently dox Princess K number, and
right.
they doxed her
Wow.
so good that I forgot that I even had her number. But out of
Wow.
respect, I was
Wow.
like, I'm not gonna hit you directly, even though I know Princess K was cool and I wasn't trying to hit her on no pervy stuff. But
Yeah.
but I definitely am gonna tap into you. So yeah, shout out to Princess K for definitely coming through. And what you said, I agree. That should be the standard. Just treating people good. Remember those life skills when they said treat others the way you want to be treated. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
heard that as elementary, and it's very cliche, but it is true, right? If you
Right.
wouldn't want nobody disrespecting you and ridiculing you, why are you doing it to other people? You
Right.
punching down for what? Like, what purpose does that serve? What do you really gain? So that should be the standard. But yeah, thank you so much, Princess K. And Mr. Batch, you want to go ahead and give your closing remark?
Nah, man, ladies and elders, they always go first, man. I always go. They always got to go last, man. I mean, because there's always somebody ahead of me. It's all good.
Mr. Brian, go ahead, close it out.
Well, listen, it's always a pleasure to get up here and discuss and have these discussions. I learned a lot from them. Just listening to different individuals' ideas and perspectives. You see what I'm saying? Well, how do you look at it, Princess K? And then she'll give her spin or twist on it. Or what do you think, Queen? And Queen to give, And so I'm kind of biting off of each person. You know what I'm saying? Along with sharing what I feel about the topic as well. Now this particular topic today, we were talking about standards and how many of us have them. I think a lot of us do have standards. It's just what standards are we living by? You see what I'm saying? Because even a thief has standards. Hey, when you rob the bank, you do it this way. You see what I'm saying? You don't do it that way. They have a certain standard as to how they go about robbing people.
Correct.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
all standards are good.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, but I appreciate the openness of the conversation. And, wasn't too much disagreements, but we were all kind of bouncing off of trying to understand where each person was coming from, and when it comes to other people, I really have no condemnation or judgment for others. The only thing that I can do is possibly maybe give some advice along the way. You see what I'm saying? Put some clothes on, honor yourself and your husband and your children. So things like that. And that may be offensive to some people. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this is the world that we live in. So, but I just appreciate the opportunity and the space to share. And B-Eazy, you always create a atmosphere that allows everyone to feel comfortable to come in and speak and talk. And I definitely appreciate you for that, Mr. Best. You know what it is. Queen, you just got up here, but I love you too, my sister.
That's correct.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bryant.
I gotta close the show out, baby.
All right. Well,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
but
Queen.
that was pretty much
Go ahead,
it.
Mr. Bryant. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
no, that was all I had to say. That was pretty much it.
All right, thank you, brother. Queen, you coming in extra late, but you were just right on time. And Princess K, I just noticed that you got the Madam K at the bottom. Fire. But go ahead, Queen. Rock out.
First of all, I want to pick a bone with the chick in the corner
Oh,
Look, Switchblade sister, I've been hitting you up. I don't know what's going on, but it's good to see you. Okay?
good to see you too.
No, I have no idea what y'all was talking about. I just wanted to pop up in here and get some support. I had a very busy day at work. So, I'm home now. So I was tired, but I had to come in, and rock out for a minute. So B-Eazy, just briefly, tell me what we talking about. Standard?
Cool. Correct. It's standards.
Okay.
How many of us have them? And
You know,
standards could be applicable to anything: religious standards, relationship standards, societal standards. So we covered many topics. So you
okay.
can just give whatever it means to you, whatever direction you want to take it, and just
Okay.
give a opening and closing, Queen.
Okay. So I think everyone has a set of standards and beliefs in their head that are strong, but when it comes to actually playing them out and letting them play out in their lives, that's when it becomes slippery slope. I think people think of themselves better than what they really are, and they don't judge their actions, they judge their thoughts. Oh well, I couldn't help him out because I'm having a hard time, when really it's like, no, you're just selfish. So yeah, I think we just gotta try to do better and be better. That's all. you know and hey, if people standards or whatever they believe in don't match up to what you down with, just move accordingly and be on. And I don't know, I just think everybody's trying to put each other in this, well, you don't do what I think you should do, and instead of really learning from each other. So yeah, I just think people are full of shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I can't refute that, Queen. And let me just ask you one quick question before I move on to Mr. Best for his final closing remarks. So since we're talking about standards, and if I'm not mistaken, I know that you have had some experience working with the youth. I know I've talked to a countless amount of parents that say, hey, they're okay with all of the gender fluidity, but most of them say that they're not. So when you're dealing with these different kids and parents, how do you deal with the competing ideologies? And one is trying to say, hey, the standard should be LGBT or men in dresses because masculinity is fluid. I had some images. Some say masculinity is fluid. Right. And some are saying this should be an acceptable standard, and others are saying no. Like, where do you kind of step in when you're mentoring youth but also have to deal with the parents with these different ideologies?
Most of the youth that I deal with, they're usually in the system or homeless, so I don't really deal with the parents. So but how I deal with it is I take you how you come to me, from the gate, and I just talk to them and just foster it from a standpoint of, are you feeling pressured, or is this really what you want? Meaning that giving them this, empowering them to be, not to feel pressured to be a part of a standard that seems to be the going thing, or not to be a part of the standard because they don't want to, be isolated or judged. Either way,
Yeah,
empowering
you
them
advocate for like the freedom of choice for them to choose their individual
advocating
path,
them
right?
to make sure that the choices that they're making are the choices that they're making for them, not to fit in a group, not to uh, judge the group. But if that's what you want to do, then stand on it, and have the confidence to stand on it. You know, and know that every choice you make is not for everybody. Like everybody's not going to understand or agree or support, and that's okay too. You know, not to feel like you have to force your views or your ideologies or your pronouns or whatever that you associate yourself with on anyone either. Like you have to have the self-confidence to walk in your truth, whatever that is. That's what I empower.
Yeah,
I learn a lot. I learn a lot from different experiences people have, or the young people have that come into my life. I've learned a lot, and I feel like I've impacted a lot. So yeah, that's the standard. Like what are you going to stand on, and do you really believe what you're standing on? Because if you believe it, you're willing to go all out and die for it. That's what and a lot of people don't understand that. It's just no. If this is true to who you are, then you're willing to go the distance with it. And if you're not, you have to question yourself. Is that really what I believe? Or is that what I've been conditioned to believe? So that's the difference.
Cool. Thank you for that, Queen. And actually, since you up here and you came late, Queen, I gotta hit you with one more, because this was part of the show. And we know when we're dealing with standards, it is subjective. We're not saying that, hey, because we give this answered, this standard or ideal should reign supreme. And I was asking, is there such thing as universal standards? So there was a lot of hoopla because of, people go to these Oscars and big award shows and they dress a certain way. So this
Lord,
is how
please don't start me on that.
I got to, Queen. You came up late. We were trying to close it down. So we do understand that standards are subjective, but is in your belief, is this a wifely standard, a daughter standard that we should accept? Hold on, Queen. You just said you was advocating for people to be the best version of themselves.
No.
And the cheeks are looking. The cheeks are looking quite
That's the difference.
marvelous.
That's the difference. It's a difference between doing things because you want to stay relevant and doing things because you really believe in them. And I feel like, and I'm gonna quote me on this, Sierra is full of shit. And her career is trash, and she's trying to stay relevant. So, and she has a daughter. You are the only one looking like that. Like you about to go to a beach vacation. Really? Come on, really? Like, I don't know. I just think that, it's a level of self-respect. Maybe I'm being a hypocrite. I don't know, but I just feel like when you got kids, your shit, you got to do better. You can't, you can't move and do the same thing. Because now you're being an example to your children, especially your daughter. Come on. Anyway.
Do you think if she didn't have kids, this would still be acceptable?
Hell no. Tatiana, you too old for that shit.
I didn't know. Somebody told me she was 40, 42
someone
or
did
so.
A video and said when Meg Thee Stallion has more clothes on than Sierra with you, then you know it's a problem.
Yeah, no, that was wild. I thought they was capping, and I was like, dang, Meg Thee Stallion, she was actually kind of dressed to the nines. And did you see Queen? Did you see Angela Bassett?
What was she wearing? Something crazy thing?
No, she was wearing something that was very elegant. It wasn't showing much. And she actually, to be honest, she was looking sexier than Sierra was. And I'm bringing that up.
Saying. Okay, so I'm going to tell a story, right? I went, dating.
Look, B-Eazy, Holly Berry stole the show, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Holly Berry stole the show.
No, John Legend stole the show.
Go ahead, Queen.
Denzel stole the show. Not Halle Berry. No,
Denzel went to the
so
Lakers Knicks
I'm just
game.
messing with him. I'm just messing with him. Anyway, so I dated a Jamaican DJ. Okay, cool. So we was watching some of the parties, and there was a girl who came into one of the parties, and he was like, she literally had on a dress just like Sierra, but it was one of those bodysuits, like cat suits, but it was completely netted. She had on a thong and heart pasty. He said that, and she was very like shapely. He said that every guy watched her, but she danced by herself all night long. Nobody, because he was like, what is it to, there's no what do you call it? There's nothing left for the imagination. You just put it all out there. He said literally she was on the dance floor the whole night by herself. So I'm gonna just say that. Come on, Sierra, you got a respectable husband. Like you trying to be a trap queen. I don't understand why. If you got so much talent, live on your talent. You ain't got, and you at the Oscars like that.
And not only that,
if that was MTV Rap or whatever, BT. I don't know. I wouldn't even say that. If you was at the strip club, that's what you should wear. But come on, like you got to grow up now. Come on. Like
she just released a song talking about independent women and how women should be striving to be independent, and she has a high value husband. And then also she came out with a lot of videos recently where she's twerking and dressing like this, and I know some people are saying, hey, it's empowering and it's liberating.
No, it's not. It's keeping single women single. And y'all keep listening to these women that got husbands and families being independent. You the one gonna die as an old maid and have 50 cats. Because they got their man, and their man ain't going nowhere. So keep listening. And half the music, we all know who writing this music anyway. So she ain't writing her music. So a man is writing her music, telling her to sing about being an independent woman. What he know about being an independent woman?
Nothing, but he knows it will sell.
That's all I'm gonna say. Because people are stupid, mindless drones. So y'all keep listening to this independent women. Burn your bra. I don't need a man. I'm good all by myself. Miss Independent, whatever. Y'all gonna be by yourselves, taking y'all girl trips, and growing old together. You and your friends.
And here's one more image of the independent Sierra. This was at the Oscars, I believe. So this was the Oscars 2023, where she had the cheeks out and the tatas out, if you could see the front. And then this is from 2022, and I don't know if you can see, Queen, but there is a baby bump, which means she is pregnant. So I'm just saying, maybe this is the pregnant maternal standard.
It's not even an Oscar. And her stylists need to be slammed on the ground. Maybe she don't have a stylist. Maybe that's the problem. But in my head, unfortunately, it says a lot about the man she's with, and I don't know. I feel like when you become somebody's wife, there's just ways you should move in the streets, because you're not just representing yourself, you represent your husband and your kids now. So yeah.
Thank you, Queen. See, you came late, but I knew you would deliver. Mr. Best, go ahead and rock out, bruh. Closing remarks. You still there, Mr. Best? So I don't know if Mr. Best is still there. So I'm gonna play one visual, and then if he's
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Close remarks.
Yeah, my closing remarks is this, man. Like, standards since we live in America, they're not universal, man. And you know, I think that yeah, it's really to each his own out here nowadays. And as the great Bolo TV says, your vibe attracts your tribe. Find those who you know, who are on your vibe, who are on your wavelength, and go forward and leave everybody else to, you know, to where they at, whether it's outside or inside, wherever they at, man. Just let them be, man, because that's just where we at in this country, man. You know, I believe things can change for the better, but I mean, ain't no but it can change for the better. It's just, you know, now we got all these freedoms and everybody doing what they want to do. You know, I believe we just need better communication about why people choose the things that they choose. That's all I got to say.
Cool.
I wanted to say this real quickly, B. I saw a video, and it showed like it said it was a reel, and it talked about, I forgot what country it was in, but it was like an Asian country, and it was saying how the kids have to do face recognition, like that's their pass to get in lunch.
Oh yeah, they have
And
they have a social
and if-
credit score.
And if they don't have a good credit score, like a social credit score, they don't eat. That's crazy. But if it shows up like of them doing anything crazy, they get denied. That's all I'm saying. You know, like, you got to bring back shame. Like, come on, like leave the trap outfits for the trap queens. Like, that's what you want to be. Like, I don't know. I feel sorry for him. I mean, yeah, he you know, women she want to look like you know, what's the Lady Diana, and next minute she want to look like Hooters the hoe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Queen, and I think we have covered pretty much everything. It is super late here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just hit the visuals, and we gonna get up out of here. Thank you, Mr. Best, Queen, and the lovely Madam K for sticking around. Everybody that's in the chat, it's been super late, and we do appreciate y'all for sticking around. So let me hit these visuals, and we gonna get out of here.
You are now tuned into another installment of Easily Rigged. This broadcast will be uncompromising, unfiltered, uncut, and unrehearsed. Your support for the program is immeasurable. Thanks to everyone that has contributed to our growth, you are appreciated. B-Eazy Dat Dude, Big Rig slaps two of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name. Enjoy the broadcast.
Easily rigged. You were saying something, Queen?
No, I was saying, Princess K, you know, we're gonna start ladies' night again. So I'll hit you up.
Okay. I'll definitely be coming on that. Good to see you too.
Yes. All right, people. I need to go to bed. I'm tired.
All right, I'm gonna drop you down, Queen. And then I'm gonna drop both of y'all down. And Princess K, we will be in touch. It was such a pleasure for you to come by. You know what I mean? I think this was your first time actually coming up on the panel of Easily Rigged. You be in the chat. But yeah, this was dope. Yeah, so everybody wants to see more of Madam K.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, off top. Yeah, so I definitely expect to have you much more, you know what I mean? So, and anything that you need, on my end, our end, to help with your journey that you're doing, you know what I mean? It's just reach out to me.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You might get a contact from me because I've been thinking about some music to do. So
You've been kind of catting on that. I already told you, Princess K, hit me up, beats, studio time. I do graphic design, photo, shoot video. So you already got that covered.
Right.
It's up to you to make the contact, and you don't gotta feel embarrassed or, oh man, I haven't talked to him in a while. It's all good, Time waits for no human being. So actually I need, more stuff to shoot, because I got some crazy equipment and I don't even get to use it to its full capacity.
Right.
Because, I'm very selective with who I work with. So
right.
I will definitely, whatever you need, I'll be there to assist you.
Okay. All right.
Cool. So yeah, just like give me a call or shoot me a text, or whatever.
Okay.
All right, Princess.
All right, bye.
Peace out.
Bye. Peace out.
Cool. So that was the lovely Princess K, Mr. Best, Queen. We had Joe to go through here, Scam Likely, Big Rig Slaps, Pirate Brain, M3, Intrepidus. We was in the chat, Risa Neal, Daryl Long came through. Hope they miss anyone. It's Party Lime was in here, getting it cracking. Intellectual SoapBox. So this was a very fruitful stream. How could I forget the lovely OG Patrice, Mr. Bryant, Stan Joseph, or should I say Joseph, in the building. But let me just give y'all a couple more videos and then we are out this piece.
tuned into another installment of Easily Rigged. B-Eazy Dat Dude, Big Rig slaps two of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name.
Knowledge and relationships.